boost. Always coming out, finally.
Oh, yep, with the nano boost, it's gonna be Ivy though, tearing his way through, finding 3, and what a statement. Briv is slowly getting up with that nano boost. Oh, but he gets put to sleep. He got put to sleep, but Briv is about to get the nano boost. He can try to do something. He's still fighting 3. He gets the 3K. How did he get woken up?
Jonak, unlucky. They're going to be able to touch as well. Choice of One's got the blade. He instantly goes down. One bomb coming alive. Career of Choice of One dead. This should just be the point. Oh my word. My Kaylee don't know where his head's gone.
So much damage from that flux. Here comes my Kaylee though, and cleaning up around Jonak and make it 2. What a flex. Sit down, Guangzhou. You're out of this fight.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. Doa and ZP here with you, coming at you with our second series of the night. It's going to be the Guangzhou Charge versus the NYXL. And this is going to be an interesting one, right? Because Charge is kind of looking to pick up a bit more momentum. And NYXL, we've seen moments of like extreme brilliance, I think, from the team this season, but they feel inconsistent to me. I feel like there's a higher ceiling to what they're able to do, and they just haven't been able to reach it yet. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think NYXL has been the classic case of a team that just gets better and better over the course of the season. I think it'd be inaccurate to say, like, hey, this is one of the very top teams in the league, because obviously they aren't. But they still made it to knockouts, or not knockouts, but they still made it to the actual tournament in the last stage of the June Joust. And they've looked better as the season has gone on, and now we'll see if that improvement carries on into a meta where all heroes are available. But, you know, I'm pretty high up on this New York team. I think that they have potential, and we'll see exactly where it goes. But certainly between them and the Charge, where the Charge, you know, have been sort of inconsistent to the lower end of the spectrum this season. On face value, I'd say that this should be New York coming in with like a 3-1. But you know how our predictions go in Apex, so maybe that means the Charge are about to sweep it. Who knows, Noah?
We'll find out. Hopefully you guys at home got your pick'ems in at pick'em.overwatchleague.com before the series began. Is that who cares? I'm a caster. I can invent words. I got my pick'ems in. I've been right 100% so far today. Didn't necessarily get the map score right, but I got the winners correct so far, ZP, for all of our series. So all I need is this one to go my way to finish out the day on top. Not that I'm going to be biased, but you know, it's just fun to be right once in a while, right? Who did you pick? Who'd you pick, ZP, for this one?
In this matchup, I picked. I picked New York in this match. I picked Seoul in the previous match, and I thought that Valiant would continue to go undefeated and beat the Spark. No, the other way around. Spark would crush the Valiant. That was my pick.
Right. Well, it sounds like we're on the same page with that. Let's check out one of the players from the Charge trying to make a difference going into this next series. It is going to be Choi Se-wan. And this is a player that, you know, we've seen be a little bit up and down, but he does have a lot of success on the Tracer, at least when it comes to staying alive and getting those pulse bombs on the enemy, right? And we saw ZP in our last series. What a big impact a strong Tracer player can make. And I mean, that's been true throughout the history of Overwatch. So no big headlines there. But Choi Se-wan, you know, it certainly seems like it's going to need to step up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we know he has a really good Tracer. The problem, Doa, is that Flora is on the other team, and Flora has proven to be one of the most shutdown, single-shot hit scan players in the entire Overwatch League. An overwhelming presence that has carried New York, even when the rest of the team has had, you know, not great performances. They've always been able to rely on Flora to have good output, and that's kind of bad when the other team is hoping for their Tracer to have a massive game, because one of the best ways of containing a Tracer, to put a Tracer on notice, as we saw in the last series with Jimmy versus Prophet at times, have a really good single-shot hit scan player, and Flora definitely fits the bill.
Yep. And on the other side, we got the NYXL, of course, like you're talking about. You already mentioned Flora a little bit. I'm always excited to get to see Jonak play, you know, one of my favorite players in Overwatch for a lot of years now, and finally able to pick that Zenyatta back up again if he wants to. I was just using his skin today, the Zenakchi skin today in some of my games, but I'd be happy to see him on the Ana as well. Or even on the Batiste, but more happy on the Zenyatta and the Ana.
So we'll see if this is what New York ends up coming out with. A bit unconventional to say the least. I'm not sure it's really going to be the case, but you know, from
they're going to swap.
Yeah, you look at the Charge side, it makes a lot of sense. Though, Choi Se-wan swapping over to the Mei over the Tracer. You know, the Symmetra coming into play, though, not a surprise here on Night Market. Really, really strong. A lot of teams preferring to run it, you know, regardless of meta at times.
Right. So it looks like mirror DPS, at least, for the two teams. A little bit of a difference in the tank. Kariv's Immortality Field is down, and that means he is not immortal either. Yakpung takes an early Fire Strike kill to open this one up for New York. And, man, that is quite the statement in the first couple seconds here to just come in, pick off the Baptiste like that, and get it started.
Yeah, I mean, the name of the skill is Immortality Field, but Kriv just proved that everyone is mortal, and he had, did not live very long. The focus fire was strong.
If the field's down, you're down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
But it's going to be the...
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's going to be the Charge setting back up again. New York already very comfortable at the point. Wall comes out. Not really much of a split coming out. Instead, Flora charged up, ready to go, ready to break down the shield door. Oh, Kriv's focused down again, Doa.
Wow, yeah. Kriv falling twice early, and for a talented flex support like him, that's a little bit surprising. Rio down now is one that looks like New York's going to have no trouble at all continuing getting the percentage going. I really like the little subtle things that Flora is doing, you know, with that Symmetra. We saw the Immortality Field up again for the Guangzhou Charge, but he didn't focus it. He didn't even turn towards it at all. He knew at that moment, yeah, sure, they're going to live, so spend your energy doing damage to the shields. That's what Symmetra does really well, and that kind of prioritizing, I think, is the little things that make the difference.
It really does, and, you know, it's almost memeable, but those sorts of gameplay decisions really do add up. Window, going to be coming down. Blizzard, eat it!
Oh,
Ivy's Blizzard immediately taken out. Meanwhile, Charge Blizzard still on the field. Charge comes in from Rio, and where did Rio go? Rio got Yakpung, but also paid for it with his life.
He did, yeah.
Side. Yeah.
Yep, they went off together apparently. New York trying to hold on to this one 70% in counting, so they do have a good first hold regardless, but it does look like the Charge are going to be ready to flip this into their favor now.
Yeah, the Charge from Rio actually working out pretty well. I think Yakpung a little bit more important than YXL than vice versa there. So the Charge get the point, but they still have to hold for quite a while. Still about a one-fight margin.
Well, a big key for that was that Yakpung has the Shatter available, right? So allowing him to stay in that fight was a big risk. Speaking of big risks, are we going to get a bit of a flank here? Let's see. Nope.
Thinking about
walk right in.
Sometimes the flank is not taking the teleport at all, and just walking up the normal way.
Apparently.
But now you gotta look to Yakpung here. The Shatter ready to go, drops the Shatter, puts two on the ground, forces out the beat, goes for the Charge, brings May a long way for the fight. That means that there's no easy Blizzard opportunity. They dropped the Blizzard a little bit later into the fight, and still actually doing well despite that far out of position.
Eileen.
It's enough for Eileen to clean up Doa.
Eileen, more like Fryleen. He was roasting NYXL with that Symmetra as they were able to get a successful defense there, and that's big. Suddenly, this point is really close.
You know what? I'll allow that, Doa.
All right, thank you.
It's the latest it'll ever be for us, or the earliest.
It is
take
5
your
a.m.
pick. That's top tier stuff. Let the frying commence.
You have to allow me that at like 5 a.m., right?
Yeah. And
all right.
7 a.m. for me. But here we go, Krog.
That's right, you're Central Time. Wow. All right, more damage from Eileen coming through.
Charging up, looking for the right now, looking for Sim. Sim v Sim on the side. Yakpung again, the target. Self-destruct going to be making a little bit of room here for the Charge.
Oh, Yakpung.
Yeah, with Yakpung being caught early.
From the ice block. Yep. And
not going to be able to bring this back far. And then they dropped the... Okay, they dropped the Symmetra, and I think since MXL, they're just committing regardless. They don't have enough time. They dropped the beat, but they're down Bianca. This is so tough for New York now as the Charge stay consistent. Don't give up any picks. And Yakpung falling at the end. That should be it.
It was a good first hold for New York Excelsior, but in the end, it was just a really strong defense from the Guangzhou Charge and some really nice individual plays from players like Eileen to close that one out. And ZP, a lot of people favoring NYXL, and it is only control. We'll have to preface with that, but a good start for the Charge.
I will say, between the two teams, when the heroes that both teams are playing, I think that plays a lot more to the Charge in the sense that when you get NYXL off the heroes that they're really good at, particularly you get Flora off single shot hit scan. It's not that Flora played a bad Symmetra or anything, but Flora's impact on the game is way more noticeable when Floor is able to play heroes, like a McCree or an Ashe, right? So anytime you get that sort of setup instead, I think it's way more favorable to the Charge than it is the Excelsior.
It goes back to the traditional styles for these teams as well. Charge is called Charge for a reason, right? And NYXL, conversely, have always had this more methodical style that, valued just really tight pushes and more defensive play than just pure all-out aggression.
That's a Mercy.
And sometimes if you can, yeah, that's right, Mercy Farah, right, coming in. And we do see that a lot on this point. At least we have traditionally. So not a big surprise to see that come back. But I think the key for Charge is going to be what we saw in round 1 CP, where if you can throw New York off their game, you can kind of use that chaos to get some teamfight wins and get some map wins.
Well, now for the Charge, it's going to be containment of Ivy, and oh, it's easy. Eileen, 1, 2, and down, assisted by Krong, of course, all the while. And I don't know if Far Mercy's the play here. Eileen pretty good in the McCree, and Krong very much shut down on the D.Va on a good day. So, this is going to be tough for Ivy, dodging both the D.Va and the McCree.
I mean, when you think about what that Farah can do as well, as you see Jonak up his old tricks, trying to get those right-click kills, but, Farah's going to be throwing rockets in. The tanks are going to be healed up. May can avoid a lot of that damage. There's a lot of healing between the Lucio and the Baptiste as far as, big area of effect healing here. So you do kind of wonder, and Friday gets caught by the Deadeye, but you do kind of wonder, what this Farah is going to be able to really accomplish.
I mean, right now, not a whole lot. Ivy is getting checked magnificently between Eileen and Krong. It's essentially been a no-fly zone the entire way through, and I gotta tell you, New York, they don't have a whole lot of time here, and Farah kind of a slow burn at points on this point in particular.
I mean, you're at the point where it doesn't look like picks are going to be very possible for this Farah. You're really relying, as you can see, on Jonak to get some picks here. So you're kind of waiting for the barrage if you're New York. Wow, Yakpong down. Eileen finds another one. It's a DPS
they almost was Friday. That was so close. Friday barely just got away. Krong and Eileen are just shutting down everything this Far Mercy are trying to do. And all right, they got EMP. That's going to be their best hope. Transcendence in. Flora, where's the EMP? Drops it. Hits 4. Bianca able to get Eileen. And finally, Ivy with a little bit of room. Doesn't have to worry about the McCree. The D.Va on the back foot. The barrage ready to go. Is now the time, though. They take down Karim. And the beat comes out from the Charge. I don't know if they really need to do that here. They're still going to try and bring the fight back. Barrage finally comes out, and the Matrix right there. And yet, Ivy lives to tell the tale.
So the barrage initially didn't look great, right? I mean, it didn't get any kills. What it did do is force the ice block out of Choi Se-wan, which made it easy to get the kill on the May. After that, it forced the defense Matrix out of Krong, which forced him back. So it's one of those ultimates that's not flashy, but it gets the job done, right? And that's what New York needed to do. They just needed to get the point. They needed to get some percentage going, and they did that. Now, this will be a little bit easier to defend now. This far as definitely stronger on that front. So how long can New York hold?
We'll see. I'm not even sure the Charge had the swap up here. They put Eileen over to the Sombra, and the reality is to even take that fight, New York had to invest an awful lot between the Transcendence and the EMP. But Krong, his own anti-air control bomb on the top gets Ivy. Ivy couldn't get away, but he does get Mondu as a parting gift with the knockback.
Yeah, that was a great parting shot.
Yeah, still winnable for New York, but
huge.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Nope. Oh, goodbye, Mercy.
The pushback.
Jonak gets res. Jonak's not going to last long.
No, Jonak's just like, why have you revived me only to suffer?
That's right. Why did you bring me back only to die? Oh, that's 99%. And it looks like it might be a very fast map number 1 in favor of the Charge, unless nope, Flora can't really get much going aside from a little bit of overtime. New York trying everything they can to keep this map alive, but it's looking more and more every second, CP, like this is the Charge's map.
Yeah, the Charge are in full control. New York right now hoping for the miracle play to somehow bring it back around, but guess what? The Charge are at full strength. Rio's just bouncing around. Overtime, nearly done. Drop the EMP for good measure. You might as well, as Jonak is brought back to suffer once more, and he doesn't fall. The point's just lost.
Yeah, and Charge did such a great job in that series, not only on the DPS front, but avoiding things like the Jonak picks. You know, Jonak's made a career out of it, getting those picks on Zenyatta, and they did a good job of denying him that. And it's a good start for the Guangzhou Charge. You know, the Summer Showdown is here. It's a new stage in the tournament. Might just be a new Guangzhou Charge. It's only one map, ZP, but it's a good start.
Yeah.
For the I was gonna say the team in blue, but they're kind of both in blue. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see if NYXL can bring it back after this. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back, guys. Don't go anywhere. This is Overwatch League.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League, and by IBM, the official cloud and AI partner of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, everybody. Doa and ZP here with you, and Guangzhou Charge getting the win on Lijiang Tower, and they look pretty good doing it too. But we were talking a little bit during the break, ZP, and it wasn't so much the individual plays, so much the team play, as it was perhaps some of the compositional choices from NYXL. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially look at that second round there. I mean, look, there's times where you go, okay, you just got outplayed and, the comp was winnable. I don't know how winnable that composition from NYXL was because they simply got shut down repeatedly. Nothing was working well with the Far Mercy setup. And, it almost felt doomed from the beginning. And then you add in a little bit extra parts there where you kind of called it. It almost felt like Jonak was being supported as now our Zen will get the pick. And, it ended with Jonak getting rezzed 1v5 in a room of enemies going, well, why have I been brought back just to suffer? It's not great.
It was almost a return in that sense. It was almost a return to the NYXL of old, right? We used to have Animo on that team, always like damage boosting the Jonak, right? And so Friday was kind of trying to fill that a little bit, although the damage boosting was kind of lacking at times. But the moment in that match that just like kind of capped it all off for me was the one that you're talking about there, right? Where everybody's dying and like Friday's falling off the edge of the map, and he's like, with my last act, I will res Jonak to win the 1v5 in the tiny room, and it did not work out. So I do think that NYXL need to go back to the drawing board a little bit in terms of putting together some compositions that are going to play better into what Guangzhou shows them. That point especially, we've seen so much Pharah historically on that point in Overwatch and in Overwatch League. But just looking at what they were shooting into on the other side, I'm not sure how you expect to really get picks on that Pharah unless you get lucky and like the McCree just walks out in the middle of nowhere and eats a rocket, right? So it was a rough start for NYXL. We're going to go to Kings Row next, and we'll see if they can pick it up there.
Yeah, I mean, I take a look at the setup here. They're swapping in Guangboon into the lineup instead of Ivy. And to me, that signals that New York is probably going to be running something along the double hit scan setup where, Flora can be a little bit more flexible. It doesn't necessarily have to play hit scan, but it'd be weird if he didn't, right? So I would expect, something along the lines of, Sombra Tracer or, Tracer or not really Tracer, but, a single shot hit scan plus Flora on the Tracer, that sort of thing. But we'll see. Double hit scan regardless. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
We were kind of denied that in map number 1. Flora's play on Ashe was looking very good earlier in the year. So there does seem to be an argument for moving on to something a little bit different. But we'll see. Also, Kings Row is one of those maps, too, where you can excel with those mid-range hit scan players, even swap it up to throw in the Widowmaker once in a while in some of those longer corridors. So it's a good map to do that kind of thing. And it's the classic quintessential Overwatch map, right? And I think that type of map really favors NYXL's style, traditionally that we've talked about, that does tend to be more methodical, right? It does tend to be a little bit less scrappy, which on the control maps, you're always going to be forced into some of these scrappy situations anyway. So, as we go on, it feels like we're going to get more into sort of NYXL's comfort zone. But, that said, if you're Guangzhou Charge, you're riding high coming into this one because this is one that I don't think a lot of people would have favored you in. You are a little bit of an underdog. So to get a start like that certainly has to feel good.
Yep, it does. Unlike me, where I might not be feeling good in the very near future because you're wondering, you could see it unless you're looking at my camera at the time. But no, I just looked around because, it appears to be a hornet just flew into my room. There's like a tiny window crack, so I'm just sitting here going, I might be doomed. Yes. Like,
are you allergic to bees, ZP?
I am. So I'm just saying here, it's at the corner of the room right now. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I hope it stays
good luck
away or flies out or watch out.
I want to see you popping up on the right side of the kill feed.
That's new. That's a new feature.
Have you ever casted with fear of imminent death by hornet? Is this a new experience?
No, I haven't. As it turns out. All right,
this is good luck.
Stay over there. Yeah. I'm just moving to the side of the room. Is what I'm doing.
All right. Well, if you have to run for your life, feel free. I can always solo cast. I've done it before at CP. Don't worry. We just want you to be around for tomorrow's matches.
Yeah, that is the hope. All right. Well, I'm gonna ignore it in the corner room and just power on through.
Funny.
I'm kind of awake now, though. That's the fear, Noah. Yeah.
That'll do it. Don't get stung. All right, well, here we go. Guangboon on the Ashe. Like you were saying, double hit scan. Flora over on the Sombra. New York on the attack here on Kings Row, trying to equalize this series.
This is interesting because overall, if I put someone on single shot hit scan, across the entire season of like Floor and so far has not been super impressive from Guangzhou here so far, but we'll see if the pick comes. Eileen, meanwhile, just playing defensive McCree on the top, and Yakpong immediately being taken out. But as I say that, Guangzhou will find Cho Siwon on the side. New York, they're probably happy to take that trade, though. The Ham's going to be back a lot sooner.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you're the attacker here, you can take those trades sometimes. You have to take advantage of those, you know, which means you have to move up, and that's exactly what New York is doing right now. So now can they close it out? The kill on Namandu certainly helps.
Yep, and New York just inching their way onto the point. The Charge still using the point as a little bit of a resource, not freaking out too much under the pressure. I don't know if they can wait for a full 6, but New York, they're not being super aggressive and hang on to the point either. They're giving the Charge time to reset up.
Yep. New York does have the high ground, though, so they do have that positional advantage. Oh, but they lose Yakpong. He was kind of on his own there. They need a follow-up. They need to get kills in a hurry here.
They do, and I mean, they're looking for Guangzhou for the fall through here. But you look at Guangzhou's ult charge right now, Doa, it's not much. He is not putting out that much damage here so far. And part of it is the Charge playing around, not giving good sight lines, but some of it is just missed shots coming into play.
And so they spend the Transcendence, too, to try to get a positional advantage. We'll see if that ends up being worth it. Krong, okay, Krong does get taken down. It's a big pick via Bianca's Graviton, or Gravitic Flux, rather. There goes Yakpong again, though. They can't seem to keep the Wrecking Ball alive right now. At least not against the Eileen. And Choi Se-wan still has the Blizzard is available, too. So this defense is starting to look pretty good for the Charge here. Less than 2 minutes remaining for New York.
Yeah, and the Charge, again, they're using the point as resource. They're going to hop back down here, Doa.
Yep.
They just hop back down time. They can't give up the point.
What? No!
It happens again!
Oh my gosh. What is it tonight, ZB?
I don't know.
What in the world is going on with teams not getting the point in time? It's like the third time we've seen that in our series. And, you know, Charge can get all the kills they want right now, but that payload is moving. And, you know, I was saying that the defense was looking pretty good for Charge, and it was, but they needed to get back to the point like they were planning to. And just a pixel off was Rio, and that's going to be one they remember. That's a tough one.
On the same note, though, overall, not a bad showing for the Charge. They drained a lot of time off the clock, and you know, so far doing a really good job of playing around Guangzhou. And it took the EMP to actually take the point. So if the Charge can keep up this sort of tempo for the rest of the map, it's probably going to be theirs. New York needs more explosiveness, especially from the Ashe.
Yeah. We need to see Yakpong, I think, live a little bit longer in some of these fights as well.
Yakpong goes in, Yakpong goes out.
Yeah, oh, pretty good shatter. All right, they get Rio. Or rather, no, turning that one around for the one who's going to be down. Friday pops the ultimate. Guangzhou, though, picking up a couple kills. And it looks like it's going to be New York pushing through anyway, despite the shatter from Rio.
Yeah, and it's really good Bob to help turn the tide. They were talking about, hey, you need a little bit more value from the Ashe. Well, they got some of that just there. And now the rest of the Charge going, I guess we got to head back to the point, but it's not great. Have to go in 3v5, 3v6.
Yeah.
And it goes as expected, Doa.
Pretty much. And New York just kind of dismantling methodically the Guangzhou Charge team. And what they lacked in point A take, they certainly made back up on point B. So now nearly 4 minutes in the time bank available. Guangzhou takes the high ground. Ooh, nice shot on Eileen.
Guangzhou starting to come alive here. EMP on deck. The Charge find themselves in a very tough situation. All the momentum against them, and Guangzhou just barely surviving there, Doa.
Yeah, no kidding. That was a close call. You just duck and like hope for the best.
Barely surviving.
Yep. This could be a big EMP. It could be a really big EMP. Gets 4. Is it enough? Though? Eileen down. Good start.
The immortality field is really nice. The rest of the Charge is still alive. The beat comes in. 5 from the Charge, still up and moving over. Blizzard coming in.
But New York not able to run in fast enough to really take advantage of that EMP, and now they lose Bianca. So New York a little bit struggling to finish this fight now.
Yeah, and I think the Charge have done enough. They really played that well positionally, Doa. And as a result, New York going to be thrown back.
Yep. New York still with plenty of time remaining on the time bank, but that was an engage I think they'll want back. Now, Friday and Yakpunk do have ults available. Oh, they got Jonak as well. Great parting stagger kill for the Charge now. And you don't see Jonak pick very often like that, honestly. His positioning is some of the best in Overwatch.
And this is rough for New York. That was really their fight to win before they threw everything into it. The Charge carefully outmaneuvered, and now 2 minutes left to go. They're waiting for Floor to build another EMP and going, all right, we'll go for it again. And Yakpunk a little bit low right now, waiting for the opportunity to go in. Minefield on deck. Doesn't want to go in before Floor gets EMP, though.
Yeah, he got pooped off the high ground. That denies a bit. Guangzhou gets rezzed by Friday here after getting picked by Eileen. New York taking a lot of time setting this up. There's the minefield. There's the EMP. Eileen down already. There's a kill on the Rio as well. And Guangzhou another great position over the cart. Looks like they might be able to close it out.
Just needs to land a few more shots. Can't finish off the Lucio, but Yakpunk all over it. The kill feed filling up with blue. The New York Excel style of blue, and that's going to be it.
Wow,
they finished Doha, and yeah, a bit of time to spare too. Most crucially, over a minute.
A little bit of frustration, I'm sure, on the side for the Guangzhou Charge is after they had a pretty solid point A defense, but just couldn't close it out. And then New York just kind of steamrolled from there. It was really only 2 fights that took them to get all the way from A to the end.
Yeah, and you know, you take a look at the setup there. I don't think it was the absolute best showing for Guangzhou, but he did get some momentum as the series went on. Also, on the other end of the DPS spectrum, Flora built up EMP pretty consistently, and the EMPs were, for the most part, where New York made a lot of their progress. But if there was a big striking point, though, more than anything else, it was how they were able to take point B without much investment of resources at all. And Charge just found themselves getting staggered repeatedly for what felt like about 2 minutes in a row. So point B is definitely where New York made something almost out of nothing.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
And now they're on the defense. It's been interesting as well seeing New York go for comps like this, and seeing other teams, seeing Guangzhou go for something a lot more similar, not the moment, but in the last round, a lot closer to what we saw a lot of teams playing back in stage 1. So maybe a bit of an evolution of the meta since then. Hero pools definitely tend to make you think about the game a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it causes you to take different perspectives of the game, which goes, hey, maybe this thing we haven't been playing, it's pretty good after we played it for a while. We're comfortable with it now.
Yeah, when you go back to a situation like we have now with no hero pools, you're thinking of things a little bit differently than you did before. There's a nice engage via the Symmetra teleport to the high ground. They do take that place that you
oh no, Crib's stuck! He's stuck in the ice wall! He gets killed for it!
Oh no. Choice what have you done?
Absolute sabotage going, take down the wall, take down the wall! Oh boy.
Oh, you hate to see it. Unless you're Mr. Freeze and you love to see it. You're like, a freeze is coming. It's already here.
Okay, so it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze is what I'm getting here.
Not
Not just any
Mr. Freeze is there.
I mean, the Batman animated series, the best Mr. Freeze of all time, sir?
Yeah, says you.
Well, also says New York is. This fight has gone way off the point, and New York's very happy for it. Very happy for it.
Yep, New York able to win that one easily. They did have the numbers advantage after the unfortunate demise of Mondu in the ice wall. He has swapped over to the, or no, Kariv rather, has swapped. It's never going to happen again if you're on Moira, I guess.
Yeah, you can just fade out of it. Back to the map. Now we can still be sabotaged by his own bank.
Is he that afraid of it happening again?
He's frozen on the camera! He's still stuck in the wall, spiritually.
He's frozen forever, yep.
Well,
thematic.
Sometimes that's just how it be, I suppose. Charge, though. 2 minutes here for point A.
IRL?
Kriv gets caught again. This has not been a great round for Kriv, and some of it out of his control, I suppose.
He's been picked on quite a bit this series. Despite Guangzhou winning that first map, he still did, take his fair share of deaths here. And now Guangzhou having a bit of a hard time getting the payload rolling. Very hard time.
Yeah, it's been a comedy of errors. They're about to have Blizzard up finally. No, Kriv caught by Jonak this time.
Well, Krong was so ready to absorb that pulse bomb actually from Flora. That was very impressive. Bianca with the temporal flux does find Eileen. Oh, he manages to get to. Whoa! Welcome to Bomberman. We're not playing Overwatch anymore. That is a 4K from Yakpong in the minefield.
Yeah, he had all the power out. He had all the power-ups, and he just tossed it over the side into the other side.
No kidding.
Yeah, all that was required. 1 minute left for the charge, and I mean, right now it's a Kriv don't die first challenge because he has been picked on by the Excelsior.
You know, Charge have a lot of ults though. I mean, they've certainly got everything they need to try to take this point or to do it successfully. We'll see.
All right, Charge for now holding back. 45 seconds left to go. New York going, all right, you can stay in there. That is fine.
Yeah.
Applying pressure. Immortality Field has to come out early. Now Chosewan gonna drop the Blizzard. Doesn't catch anyone. Eileen able to get Friday. That's huge. Brigida's out of the fight early. There will be no rally, but Guangzhou able to find Eileen. A great angle here for the Ash.
Oh,
They're gonna be there. Jonak finishes off Rio, and the charge starting to fall short. But on the plus side, Karib's still up. Jonak is down.
Yep, that's right. Losing Rio, though, hurts a lot. But like you mentioned, it's going to be tough for Jonak to get back in time. He's still on the Zenyatta. He's not swapping or anything like that.
He'll hover over there at some
They're
point.
willing
And
to get this going. Wow.
Chosewan.
All right, Chosewan. This is a great right click. And I mean, if you're NYXL, yeah, I mean, you do end up giving up the point here almost in overtime, but it's still a win, right, ZP? You still take literally as much time off the time bank as you can on point A, and when you fast forward all the way to the end of point C, and you think about the fact that New York did get 3 points, they finished the map, it's really tough to do that. If you go into that final point with the time bank that, you know, the Charge are probably going to have to deal with.
Also, New York coming in from all sides here. Shatter in from Rio early. Yakpong biting the dust, but the flux from Bianca setting the tone. Rio gets caught. Friday, though, out of the fight. Krong self-destruct, negating a lot of the flux, creating space for the charges. Eileen gets Guangboon, and this is going all back and forth, but no one is checking Eileen.
Well, Eileen just comes in and takes down Jonak, and now they are going to retake this payload and get it moving again.
All right, so the charge staying alive, a minute 30 left to go. New York, though, Transcendence about to be on deck. Still very winnable for them here on point B alone, even before point C. So the charge have to play this next fight perfectly.
Yep. Should be okay in the end. We'll see, though. Flora sneaking around the outside. Okay, can he land the pulse bomb? That would be the go-ahead for stopping this payload for a good amount of time. Remember, there's only a minute left for the charge right now.
I'd also just be happy to get the Immortality Field out early. Just set the rest of this team.
Eileen.
Here we go. The flank coming in. New York, though, you still have to touch a point. Remember the touching point. Flora, though, gets Chosewan out of the fight immediately. And there's a pulse bomb. Takes down Karib. Karib caught.
Yep.
And even though Flora's down, the damage has been done, Doa. The resurrection comes back in. New York. A huge fight here on point B, and the charge find themselves with only 35 seconds left to go.
Yeah, less than 3 yards to go to finish B, but now you are looking at a situation where you may have the map end right there. Chosewan and Mandu, the ones with the ultimates on the charge side, you need to make something happen. Flora positioning himself to build a lot of alt charge. Oh, and Yakpong with the flank. Okay, they're going to try to get tricky here. They've got the Transcendence from Jonak as well in case things start to go a little bit sideways.
Yeah, they didn't have to use it last fight, and if you're Jonak, you're just going to pop this early. You don't want to have anything stupid happen. You want to use it while you still have a full 6. The payload's coming in. Now New York have to contest. There's the Transcendence in from Jonak. Timing what needs to be. Mandu, though, answering with the beat. Bianca gets caught, even while the Transcendence was in the middle of it all. Resurrection comes in. Bianca back in the fight. Jonak fires back, takes down Eileen. But Jonak ends up falling in return. The charge in more control here with the May just freezing people as they try and touch the point. Karib, a little bit of revenge at the end, Doa, and the charge stay alive. A minute 25 left to go, and remember, they need to finish with at least 1 second left on the clock.
Yep, that's right. Otherwise, the best they can hope for is a draw, but hey, it'll take a draw over a loss in a lot of cases, right?
Yep.
A lot of ultimates available for New York, though, so they are now the ones in the position to win this, and really all they need to do is win 2 fights. There's a minute left on the time bank, so if they can do this efficiently, they'll be in a good spot.
Or win one fight and just lose the other fight slowly. Or at this point, just lose this fight slowly. Only 53 seconds left to go, but they are going in Doha. It's an early flux, but it's a little bit aggro. The Charge are able to shrug it all off. Immortality Field was used, but if you're Bianca, you can't really commit here. Window coming down here for the Charge. They're going to try and seize the opportunity. Mines down on the field, going to slow it down. And again, you got to look at the time. The Charge need to finish the map in the next 30 seconds.
Yep. I mean, I think that was a good trade for New York, too, just trading Akpung's minefield for the Baptiste wall from Kariv on the other side, saying, all right, well, we're just going to zone out this area so you can't use the wall. Kariv and Eileen go down, though. New York with a couple big picks, and with only 15 seconds or so left, this is really starting to look like New York's map, CP.
Yeah, I mean,
Friday,
at this point,
aggressive battle mercy time.
Even if the Charge somehow come back and turn this fight, which is looking increasingly unlikely, 5 seconds left, even if they touch and do that miracle scenario, the best they can do is a draw. Now they're really playing on a whim and a prayer, hoping for the miracle, Doha, and the best they can do is a draw.
But the miracle might not be coming with Mandu already down. It's going to take an even bigger one now. 5v6.
Flora
EMP?
holding on to the EMP. Might as well just drop it, you won't think. The Blizzard is on, though. Buying a little bit of space for the Charge. EMP from Flora as the Blizzard fades. The kill feed just about all blue. And the Charge falling one by one. As said, Doha, I don't think that miracle is going to happen.
I don't think so either. And that is it. They can't stay on the payload, and New York puts a point on the board. We are all tied up. 1-1.
It's not a 3-0. Dream is real.
The curse is broken. You know, it was Jaws and Vicky that had the 3-0 today.
Yeah. I can't imagine having a Valiant game at being a 3-0. That's just weird. You know, the curse is really transferred, though. That's all I have to say.
Fair enough. Well, New York tying things up. They've got the momentum. We'll see if they can carry it through to a lead or if Charge will strike back when we come back. Don't go anywhere. The Overwatch League returns right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles. Stay in the game. And by NetApp, the official data management partner of the Overwatch League.
We have returned here on the Overwatch League, where night has become day again. Do and ZP here, 1-1. New York Excelsior versus Guangzhou Charge. Guangzhou taking control. New York taking Kings Row, kind of as expected. Both teams kind of playing to their strengths right now. And so now we go on. We're going to Junkertown next, ZP. It's going to be the payload map. Do you feel like this still favors New York? It's been a bit of a scrappier series than I think some people would have expected.
Yeah, it really has been. I mean, I would have still expected Florida to come in on the single-shot hit scan, but it makes sense, right?
Sure.
They want to play Guangboon, and they probably still feel like this is the best overall combination for the DPS players that they have. And look, so long as they don't pull out the Far Mercy again the way they did on map 1, New York is in a better spot because that was just awful. Also, on the other side, Kariv has been having a tough time. Part sabotage from his own teammates with that wall where some say Kariv is still stuck, and part has just been New York has been focusing Kariv relentlessly. Yeah. So, one way or another, Kariv needs more protection because New York's game plan has been, startlingly simple, but also very effective.
Right. It certainly has. And I think seeing Kariv die so many times like we have tonight is one of the most shocking things to me because he has been one of the better flex support players in the league, since he started. And I was a fan of his back in Korea when I lived there in Kasada Apex. So it's been fun to watch his career trajectory, and you don't often see him get caught the way that he has been doing. But I think, a part of beating Guangzhou Charge, if you're any team really in the league looking at this matchup, is focusing Kariv as part of that strategy. If he's not able to make plays, he's not able to make plays at the end of the day. Like that's some great analytical
that is infallible, Doa. Yeah. I've never thought about that way. It's kind of like the same thing is that if you get more points than the other team, you win the game. It's unbelievable, really.
That's right. That was Yogi Berang apparently tonight. But we'll see what happens. We're kind of waiting for the players to get started in the lobby here. It doesn't look like we've got any roster swaps, but we'll see what the Charge has in mind because you've got a little bit more room to work with on this map too. So maybe Kariv will get caught out a little bit less. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, now you just got me thinking about old Yogi Berra commercials where, man, if you want to have someone that just can play off anything he said with charm and grace, is Yogi
Those are
Berra.
I aspire to be half the commentator, but those are the types of play calls you get at this time of the morning.
When late night becomes early morning, it gets extra wacky.
That's right. We should just call this Sleeping Over with Do and ZP now.
Yeah, except
spending
there's no
the whole
sleep.
evening with us.
Not for us.
Good morning, Overwatch fans.
Yeah, good morning. It's good night to someone somewhere, I suppose. Find the time zone, but
that's true. Yeah. That's true. Well, here we are. Junkertown is the next map. I suppose it is getting a little bit late over there.
Yeah.
Not quite, but it is getting a little bit late in Korea, which Australia's overlapping some of those time zones. So
yeah, makes sense. The other side of the world and all that. We don't have to be exact. Just generally speaking. However, let's talk about the game where New York getting ready to come out on the attack. There's a lot of swapping here. Who knows what it's going to be? Let's look at the defense where it's a little bit more standard. You got May McCree with Reinhardt, and they're going to play this close to the vest here.
I think so, yep. Rollout coming, though, from the New York Excelsior. And, Guangzhou Charge playing it really close here. They're trying to get the jump on them. A little bit of a flank. Is that going to be possible, though? Mandu comes in, hoops everyone off the cart here. Guangboon, though, taking the high ground. And New York starting to take some pretty decent positions here to try to fight this back.
Yeah, and New York, I mean, they were able to get out without immediately dying. And if all people get caught, it's a Sombra. Probably the least likely to expect for a team camping the spawn like that. But hey, works out. Now we'll see if New York can find any pick to sort of end this early pressure coming out from the Charge. Because so far the Charge are looking pretty healthy, though.
Yeah, they are. And that defense is always a little bit tricky to pull off because you do leave yourself totally exposed, when you're so far up. But they were able to do a good job of taking a couple picks, rotating cleanly. Now they've got this better defensive setup, able to keep the payload from rolling a little bit. So you need to win a fight, and you still have to deal with people from the other team above you, which is always a little bit tricky here too. Jonak down though, they found him isolated across the road there.
Yeah, I was about to... I sort of cursed Jonak there because I thought it was like, hey, Jonak's shifting, looking for Discord targets, etc. And they go, oh, hey, Jonak's available. Let's just take him out. And this has been really compacted tight right now from the Charge, where they're just holding in the building, but keeping the payload contested all the while. Flora drops the EMP, and look, the immortality field for Kriv, perfectly timed. Keeps the rest of his team alive, but the problem is, too much damage happened. Even though the immortality field kept them alive, the follow-through was enough after it failed.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the immortality field just keeps you from dying. It doesn't keep you from taking a lot of that damage. So there's still that execute possibility once it does drop off. You know, again, it was nearly a really, hero play from Karib because he was able to avoid the EMP. He was able to use his abilities in the first place, but just not quite able to do enough to have them win the fight. They do have one more chance to defend it here.
Deadeye coming up,
Eileen?
and I think what happened there is hoping they get caught in the flux. If he had gotten hit with the flux, it would have lifted him up for the Deadeye. It was very close to being the case.
That's true. A little bit of anti-synergy there.
The beat comes in
New
for
York
the Charge.
trying to push through this on the open ground, but this is a little bit tougher.
Bianca got caught, frozen over. Transcendence out from Jonak. Had to be used to keep Bianca alive, who got caught by the May. And again, Bianca gets turned into a popsicle. Can't escape the cold. Winter is coming. And this time, perhaps, at the better end, at least if you're a Charge fan.
I mean, it's difficult, right?
Never mind.
Guangzhou actually decides to just, take this fight into his own hands, apparently. Because the immobile Jonak on Zenyatta, the immobile Sigma, getting chased down, but doesn't matter. Jonak's back again, gets a double kill. 2 headshots in a row for this guy. Little bloodthirsty support action to finish point A.
Yeah, that was super, super clutch coming out from Guangzhou, able to get 2 key pickoffs in New York, snowballs the rest, because the Charge were looking like they had everything they needed for a hold there. And also, speaking of swap-ups here, Kriv really favoring swapping to the Moira at points.
Yeah. And the thing is she did get a little bit of a nerf to her alt charge levels, so a lot of people were expecting to, a lot of people not expecting to really see the Moira a lot today, but we are seeing it a little bit here in APAC. Floor down, Rio as well.
The EMP still is going to be enough, as Guangzhou has enough time, but Floor just got immediately erased after the EMP, but hey, a worthy sacrifice for the team.
Yep. Got the ult done, you hit enough people, and opened your team up to get a bunch of easy shots. And that did it. So New York, where they struggled a bit on point A to push through, now making some good progress on B, but they got to finish it up. There's a blizzard coming soon from Choi Se-wan as well.
New York looking to set a decent time here so far. Charge still going to have another opportunity to defend here at point B. Choi Se-wan hanging on to the blizzard, as you just mentioned. Flora, early hack on the quad. The isolation is huge.
Nice
the immediate DMAC. That was so well timed. Deadeye from Eileen finds Flora, but they're going to need so much more than that. Blizzard comes out from Choi Se-wan. He gets caught. New York in a really good spot here still. Moving forward, Bianca laying in the damage on the Sigma. They get the point.
That was just a really good aggressive move for the Sigma, knowing that everyone was vulnerable, could go down and pick up some of those kills. And now New York with 3 minutes remaining. With some sneaky floating characters. You don't cause footfalls if you float. So Sigma and Zen can sneak around a bit.
We don't know what sound Sigma's toes make if they ever hit the floor, and it's probably for the best, though. Probably for the best.
Like fingernails on a chalkboard, man.
Yeah, they are quite long. But now, just one. Blizzard. Oh, he's not getting a chance to throw it out. Gets hacked. But wait, still alive. Doesn't get bursted down. Moves forward. Discord Orb still on him. New York really doesn't want to deal with the Blizzard, but here it comes anyways. Blizzard thrown out. And again, Bianca finding himself frozen, taken out, and done.
Yeah. Good follow-up damage coming in from the Charge. You saw Jonak trying to use his Transcendence to outlast the Blizzard. Nearly did, but there wasn't really an opportunity to return fire after that. And it looks like New York still going to be able to push, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, especially without Guangzhou. I'm surprised they got some more distance on that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good series of fights here for Choi Se-wan, dealing with pressure, getting away from it, still getting Blizzard off in that moment. 2 minutes left for New York. The biggest problem for the Charge here is how do you stop the EMP?
Right. And they haven't been able to do that very well yet. And on a point like this that is a little bit more open, you are at even more risk. You're kind of just hoping for a little bit of a lucky right-click headshot for Choi Se-won here.
Krong nearly got D-backed off a hack again. And Krong's still feeling the effects of it. Rio, meanwhile, drops a shatter, knocks down 3. Is the fall through going to be there? Crib! Oh, the mines! From Yakpong! Still playing Bomberman. However, it is trades back and forth, but Friday able to get the res on the Guangzhou. That's a nice res, especially in a low numbers fight. The Ash so strong in that situation, and now New York 4 on the payload, keeping it moving forward, and the Charge are just gonna have to come out, beat in Blizzard, and hope for the best.
Yakpung's Wrecking Ball has looked so good. His ultimate specifically, he's been able to really trap the Guangzhou Charge from time to time in this series. But here we go, the moment of truth. Less than a minute remaining. New York very close to the payload.
The problem for Mondu, he doesn't want to drop the beat until EMP comes out. Flora waiting to set up. Blizzard comes out first. Mondu waiting. Flora still looking for the setup. Blizzard's gone. And now all eyes have to be on Flora here. Guangzhou takes out Eileen early, and the EMP just gets let loose. Mondu drops the beat after, but a lot of the Charge already out of the fight. Mondu now in real danger, taken on down. New York's patience really paying off, Doa.
Yeah, it's kind of feeling like cleanup. Jonak popping the Transcendence there to ensure the victory. Nice accretion, actually, from Bianca as well to try to secure this. There goes Rio, and I don't know if anyone can quite get there. Yeah, there's Eileen, and Mondu can't quite touch it. It's going to be 11 seconds remaining for New York. So it was tricky, but they got the job done. And honestly, ZP, Junkertown is one of those maps where it can be kind of hard to take 3 points sometimes. So New York with a strong finish there, despite not having a great time bank.
Yeah, both teams having their moments there, but I think the biggest problem that the Charge have been having is that Flora's been really consistent with the EMPs on the whole. EMP comes in. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's dirty.
That's part Yakpung, but also part on Charge for just clustering everyone together in a tiny area. And,
yeah.
The setup to that, by the way, that's partially Rio's fault, where Rio's, saw a shadow opportunity, is like, all right, I'm gonna drop it, knocks down 3, but the counter effect, or the after effects of that shatter put everyone for Charge going, hey, we gotta follow up with the shatter, we gotta go in. And Yakpung just like, oh, really? This is neat. Thanks, Rio.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, sometimes you lose sight of some of those flankers, and especially if it's a champion like Wrecking Ball on the other side, you can get surprised by that. So you follow up on what you think is a good shatter, suddenly, death from above.
Yep. But now we swap sides here. It's going to be the Charge's turn to attack. Both teams tied 1-1, and what could be a series that'll go the distance. We could be talking to our talent manager before the night is over, after all, or morning, whatever it is.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. I mean, these have been some pretty entertaining games. We got Guangzhou over on the Widowmaker now on defense for NYXL, and looks like, Guangzhou going back to what they've been very comfortable with today, which is relying on that McCree and May again.
Meanwhile, New York, they are looking for the Widow to pay dividends, and it's not easy to find good shots on Widow here. You have to wait for the shield to fall down. You have to wait for the other team to get out of line of sight. But it's a section right here where Guangzhou really has a wealth of opportunities. And as I say that, finds Eileen.
You can say that again.
Yeah, this is where it's so difficult to get around the Widow, and the power really is in the Widow's hands.
Yep. Traditionally, I think in Overwatch, it's been one of the better Widowmaker spots. Guangzhou looking for more opportunities here.
So far as we know, areas like this don't really exist in Overwatch 2. Way more cover. So if you're a Widow player, enjoy it while it lasts.
I'm sure there'll
also,
be some
Summer pressure.
shots, but oh, Guangzhou down. Yeah, Eileen goes hunting and finds the Widowmaker that he was looking for.
Yep, just walked right up, unstealthed, no respect. Takes down the Widow and gets rid of the threat. Lets the Charge move up, and New York, they're not quite at the level of ults they'd like to be. They just dive in. They're sitting here stalling, and Flora on the Tracer finds Kariv. Kariv down first, and Flora's looking for more. Post-bomb ready. Is he going to drop it here? Just might, and doesn't need to.
Yeah. And that's huge. If you just keep saving that. he knows they're on the run, so yeah.
The Sombra has just been camping Guangzhou, and yeah, as I said, that was a Widow swap moment, and Guangzhou said, yep, you're right, time to Widow swap because I've had it with the Sombra being in my face.
Yep. Seems reasonable.
Yep. 2 times was enough, as it turns out.
Yeah. The first time it's like, oh, well, you know, was I mispositioned, all that. The second time it's like, all right, I'm being hunted.
It's like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Bianca, though, Flux early, Doa, drops him down, and it's Krong is the prize they're looking for. Crib, though, drops the Immortality Field. Both take still alive, and oh, Guangzhou able to find Chosewan, who is not in the Immortality Field. And New York's looking so composed so far here. This could be a first point hold.
Such a risky move for Charge to try to set up their defense in that room. You know, now there's Nash on the other side. You saw that Dynamite just do a lot of ticking damage. And now New York really in a position to hold this here on point A. 1 minute remaining for the Charge. It's getting to be kind of desperate for Guangzhou.
Yeah, and also a little bit of reversal of roles here, too, where you have New York holding back, and it's Eileen that's going to be coming out here with the EMP potentially.
Nice
Gets Yakpunk down early. That's a, very nice hack. Of course, one of the best counters of all in the entire game. Josewan holding on to the Blizzard. Uh-oh. New York's put themselves all in a room. The Blizzard's on deck. Jonax out of the fight. And the Charge should be able to get point A now, Doa. Just too much damage has been done.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nice for them. They only needed to use that EMP to do it. I don't think they're going to need to use anything else. Nope, they get point A, and now they can roll into point B. They don't have a ton of time remaining. 3 minutes in the time bank, but with all the ultimates they have access to, they could theoretically make this a very fast push because of the big advantage they have over New York, who's kind of waiting for a couple right now.
Yeah, I mean, specifically, they need to. If they get stalled out at point B at all, it's going to be really hard to actually get a full complete on point C. You need time for point C. So the Charge have the advantage, but they cannot misplay here, or it'll go away incredibly quickly.
Sneaky Eileen.
I like it. Charge, no. They need to make the most of this attempt. Flora, though, pursuit. Oh, totally whips and takes an icicle to the head. That could not have went worse for Flora. An absolute embarrassment. And now the Charge, they have their opportunity, Doa, and it should be an economical one at that, though. They do drop the Shatter and beat. They want to be sure. And the Blizzard. This is a lot of ults being used for Charge in a fight where they got an early pick.
Yeah. Well, it happens to the best of us, EB. That Pulse Bomb certainly going wide, but the Guangzhou Charge able to take advantage of it to win this fight decisively and get very close to, if not take point B. And there's still an opportunity here to finish faster than New York. If you can consistently win fights, it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Well, New York, they don't have a lot of great options here. I mean, yeah, theoretically, you could run and contest, get Transcendence off, but I don't know if that's really the play here. I mean, they have mines that can go for it. Okay, as I say that, Guangzhou, and they don't touch in time. And Yakpunk gets caught and frozen, hacked, frozen, dead.
Yeah.
It was one or the other there, Doa. You either contest or you don't contest. You don't half contest, don't get on the point and die. That was not one of the options.
I suppose it's kind of tough if you're New York right now because, again, it makes more sense to logically save the ultimates for that push a little bit later. So I kind of get it in a way. You throw something at them, but then you mostly save it, you know?
Kind of a weird time to EMP for the Charge, and not only that, but it doesn't even fully clear out New York. New York's trying to be really, really aggro on this defense, where they're not even worried about winning the fight, though, as much as they are about stalling for time. This was a time-positive fight for New York, even as they start losing people towards the end.
I'm kind of shocked. It's not a style we see from New York as often. Like, we know they can turn it on when they need to, but being this aggressive is a rare treat, for New York.
Rare tweet, yeah. But
rare
why
tweet.
not?
So to monetize those future NFTs, right?
Yep. Krong under pressure. I mean, at this point, Flora doesn't have to do this anymore. EMP's charged up. It's just kind of like Krong, no. I'm here, by the way.
Well, it's all about buying time, right?
Yep.
And YXL can still hold and end this map right here.
Either scenario good, but of course holding the best case for New York. And more importantly, a minute left to go, and EMP still on deck. The Charge need to at least force the EMP out sooner rather than later. But they're taking their time to bring the fight. But
Right.
here we go.
There it is.
They move in. The EMP comes out, and it's about as expected for an EMP fight. It's a really good EMP for Flora. New York finishes it decisively, but for the Charge, Flora doesn't really build up too much towards the end, though, and they still have a minute to go.
Yeah. Yeah, remember, NYXL finished, so Charge need to do that to try to equalize. Otherwise, this map is over.
I'm out of here. I need healing.
45 seconds left to go. The ult bank about as beneficial as it's going to get at this point in the game. The Charge, they have their final attempt coming. And they're going to go the long way here, Doug, because I think at this point they realize it's the last attempt no matter what. The key here, don't feed Flora another EMP.
No, ideally not. Eileen, though, looking for a good EMP himself. Oh, he has to go back without casting it. That's okay, though. They still have everything available. Kriv puts down the amplification matrix as they try to just create room for Krung to push this payload a little bit farther, but down to just 10 seconds remaining. This is it. They need to win a fight right here if they want to have any chance to win this map.
Eileen moving in, drops EMP, hits 3. Jonak immediately
EMP.
down. He had
Great
Transcendence
EMP.
on deck. Couldn't use it in time. That was the #1 target they need to get rid of. There's no Transcendence. Krong on the fall through to the back. Flora's going to be coming out of spawn with no EMP, still ways away. And the Charge just might be extending this one yet.
Maybe. I mean, the respawn advantage certainly does favor the New York Excelsior. And Charge a little bit short-handed rolling into this one. They got to stop it. Jonak has to pop the Transcendence. He's going to use it as well to keep Yakpung up. Now backing away to give a little bit more room. Chosewan retreating as well here. This is a tense one. Oh, EMP, big one from New York.
Jonak, though, immediately punished. A lot of the Charge were able to position out of it, heading back into the fight. Numerical advantage back with the Charge once more. And New York, they are drained. They are hurting. They are hoping for anything to turn the tide. But though I don't think that's going to happen. I think extra rounds are in progress, and that they are.
Wow. They did it. Charge able to just sort of wrestle that one away from New York at the last moment, and we are going to extra innings here on Junkertown. A minute to a minute 11. Remember, New York did finish with some time remaining in the time bank, so they will have a little bit of an edge there. It will be first attack, though, for the Guangzhou Charge since they have a little bit less time remaining.
All right, so 3-3 here on Junkertown, and Doe, if there's any map in the game where you can go the distance, where you can have the 6-6, let me tell you, it's Junkertown, because once overtime spawns come into play, all the attacking team needs is one good fight, and they can snowball things so far, especially with how Point B is pretty difficult at times for the defenders to reset up.
Well, this is one of the maps, too, that we've seen some of the highest scores in Overwatch League history. Don't hit Jonak in the face with your staff. Friday.
Give him respect.
Stam's
blue
boosting.
drink. Wait, Jonak's really on brand. Blue jersey, blue branding behind him, and blue drink. It's all blue.
Blue Man Group.
Yeah. He just needs to come in with like blue face paint. That's the next step, the next level, and blue hair.
Exactly.
Attackers incoming.
Here we go.
Escort the payload.
And it's going to be the swap for Chosewan. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Over into the Tracer. Tried to hit that early pick. Looks like it's going to be a wholesale, or full-scale, rather, swap for the Guangzhou Charge as they're on the attack. But CP, that takes time. They want to make sure they have the right composition, but that just took about a quarter of their time off the time bank already.
I think for the Charge, they're hoping that with the swap, they'll win the first fight, and then once again, the overtime, the time bank essentially irrelevant. That's what they're banking on, not just normal progress. We'll see if it pans out. Joseph Wan hasn't been playing a lot of Tracer overall this series, but now on it. Eileen on the Sombra, looking for the hack, gets the hack. In the back for
Yep.
able to get away. Very tense as both teams feel each other out. They know the cost of losing this first fight.
Yeah, for sure. It determines so much, especially with New York with a tiny little bit more time bank. We're into overtime already. There goes Crib, though. Yakpung with a good start for the NYXL side of things. Oh, and Flora coming in with the cleanup already. New York might just stop it right here, ZP.
They're very, very close. The Charge are so weak, and yet someone has to go to the point where in overtime the bomb connects. And the cleanup fast and furious for New York. And It's not going to be a long Junkertown, Doa. We are saved from the 6-6, or perhaps it's a disappointment, depending on your point of view. But it's not going to be long regardless.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it is still winnable for Guangzhou Charge. But that said, New York does not have to push that payload very far to take the lead in this series. Remember, these two teams are tied up 1 map win apiece. And I'm just curious to see what New York is going to roll out with. Are they going to maybe try to go for a Widowmaker pick or something to get this early little advantage? Or are they just going to try to just be bulldozers? You know, what have they learned from what Guangzhou just did on their attack?
Yeah, I mean, the most epic thing that happened here in terms of turnaround to the series is that you have a pretty full hold from New York on their second defense, but why not a fuller hold here? And I mean, with a minute 11 to go, it's not like New York is swimming with time here. This is still very, very winnable for the Charge.
True. Very true. New York, only 11 seconds remaining. You blink and you miss it, basically.
Well, yeah, the 11-second difference between the two, both teams is a minute, and then, you know, it's essentially nothing, especially in Escort.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I mean, it is enough time to go and scout real quick, too. So, you know, and not lose as much time. So NYXL can do that. They are going with more or less a comp that they've been using well. They really have been liking Yakpeng and that Wrecking Ball Bianca on that Sigma. Guangboom, just like we were maybe guessing, looking for an early pick on the Widowmaker. Yeah, going back and swapping. I don't think you're going to be able to find it here. Yeah, over to the Ashe instead.
I think that's smart. You go for the consistency play. You don't have to go that far. The Widow is very feast or famine, and New York's got enough of an advantage that they don't need to go for that sort of play right now. So it makes a lot of sense.
That Orb of Discord is going to be so scary. That's a way you can just kind of make someone get out of line of sight, and you can remove the incoming fire too, especially on a more fragile hero like the Ashe.
Also, Charge have to get to payload. They need to move over to the payload. They have to get to the payload. Whew. Okay.
See, that was too close, CB. And now Guangzhou out of position. They had to scramble to get back there, and now they're not set up for this defense. That said, Eileen did get the kill on Deflora, so New York.
Eileen has great
maybe
sightline
in a bit
here.
Trouble. Oh boy, Yakpeng down. ZP.
This could be the fuller hold. They just need a little bit more Jonak res of all people, but it's not going to be nearly enough. Eileen with the sightline, and the Charge take this one away from New York. What a map.
Wow. Yeah, that was, they lulled them into a false sense of security, ZP. They're like, oh yeah, we're just going to own, oops, we almost didn't touch the point. It was a clever ruse as they were ready. Eileen on the flank to get those picks to close it out. Wow, this series has been exciting, ZP, but we're not done yet. We got another game coming, and we will see if New York can tie up this series or if Guangzhou will have a bit of an upset and win this one 3-1. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch League is returning right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League. The Guangzhou Charge able to get the win on Junkertown. It went to extra innings, ZP, and it really looked like they were about to let New York just push the payload over the line, but that's not the case. Eileen coming up big in the end with a couple crucial picks to close it out. So you and I were talking about this during the break a little bit, ZP. This one kind of feels like it might be going the distance.
Yep, the talk of 3-0s, it's long gone, Doa. Now we're wondering, is it going to be 5 maps?
Times are over.
6 maps? What's it going to be? Because, you think back, we had the real possibility of a draw back on King's Row if the Charge were able to just, finish things out, even though time was against them. Both these teams evenly matched. I mean, some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons.
Sure.
Both teams with some glaring issues. Probably number one for the Charge is just protection of supports. Notably, Kriv has been tough, where, some is on Kriv being out of position. The other part is New York just actively hunting him regardless of, where they're at. New York, all in all, kind of a mixed bag where, you look at Yakpung, he delivers and also he gets completely stomped depending on the fight. So, a lot of variance so far in this matchup, to say the least.
Yeah, it's you sort of see the prophecy fulfilled almost a little bit where coming into this season, a lot of people were speaking pretty positively of the Guangzhou Charge. They do honestly have a lot of good individual talent on this team. Players like Eileen and Kriv, jump to mind immediately. Rio, a strong main tank as well. So I think it's been a little bit surprising to see sort of Guangzhou be in the state that they've been in for most of Overwatch League 2021. It seemed like we were getting to a point where they were going to be able to start to really compete consistently. And this, again, has not been the cleanest day of Overwatch really across all of our matches. But it is the first day of the new stage of the tournament, I suppose. Everyone's kind of shaking off the rust a little bit. But maybe Guangzhou is ready to sort of rejoin that conversation as a team to keep an eye on,
Yeah, and I mean, APAC also as a region has been very variable between the teams. I mean, the only team that has felt truly out of it for most of the season has been the Valiant, where, the Charge and Spark have hit rough times at points, but also have, particularly the Spark have had points where they've looked really, really good. So, APAC is a roller coaster, though, I think is the easiest way to say it. So you never know what you're going to get from week to week, I suppose.
I mean, the one thing that's been consistent is we know we're going to get Shanghai to the finals. That's it. We don't know if they're going to win it or not, but we're going to get them there, That seems like the one thing you can count on so far anyway from the East region.
Yeah, which is what a lot of people thought coming into the season, even though, the funny part, you go back to the very beginning and, Shanghai looked mortal, right? Where, the very beginning
they did,
for APAC, it was all about, Fusion and Chengdu, two teams that have very much had struggles in recent times, particularly Chengdu, where, you take a look at their overall record. It's been tough for them over the last month and a half or so. So, good fortunes can change the bad fortunes can change the good. Like I said, bit of a roller coaster.
Yep, I'm keeping an eye on the lobby here. It doesn't look like we've got any changes as far as the player makeup goes on either team, as you can see right now. Both teams ready to go, and we will see who takes it, really, because like we talked about, it is a situation where Guangzhou Charge can win the series and have a great start to their Summer Showdown if they can win this next map, if they can win Volskaya Industries. New York, though, of course, they want to stay in it. They want to try to tie this up. I mean, how many times have we seen New York get close to greatness in the Overwatch League and never quite achieve it,
It's true.
If you lose here against Charge, that's a disturbing sign,
Yeah, I mean, I think for New York, there's definitely a lot at stake in just going, hey, we've been improving. Let's start out this particular stage with a win. You don't want to be fighting from behind, especially with how competitive APAC can be. But, as far as the next map goes, people wonder, well, who's going to win the next map? What's going to happen? Are we going to go to map 5? Or is it going to end just now? I propose something different. I mean, I guess we'd still go to map 5 in this scenario.
Okay.
But what about a draw? What if no one wins?
Oh, my God.
Aside from the audience who get more Overwatch and thus more tokens, more gameplay, all of that. But you might have to sit through a Volskaya that could be 2-2, 3-3. We'll see. But for
10-10.
I'm feeling the atmosphere in the air. Not a 10-10. Don't even speak that into being. But I'm feeling the atmosphere for a draw. That is my bold prediction right now. That's not. I'm throwing it out.
I don't know if we're even doing that segment today, but
I
you're
don't
just
think we
bringing
are.
it in anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Bold predictions from ZP. He thinks we're going to have a draw. I don't think so. I think, and I'll tell you why. Because this series has been a little bit messy. I don't think we're going to see teams be able to deliver when it comes down to it. I do, however, want a holographic robot on my desk at some point. I guess that's not on your screen right now, but
No, it is on my screen. I do see.
I mean your screen at home. I'm talking to the viewers, ZV. I'm not talking to you right now. Now I'm talking to you though. There's a big robot.
No,
See?
just
I
talk
always
to
figured
viewers.
why not
It's,
just get in one of those. You can take the point real easy if you're in one of those.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually that's what they're gonna give to the Valiant later in the season. You just they pick full
need
sky.
it.
It's like, why did you go full sky? You've had a rough time on it, and it all changes when
Yeah.
you see Silver 3 coming in the war mech. You're like, we're losing the point.
They're just gonna like all jump in there together like Voltron or something like that. And we're just gonna get like a different view where they're all in sort of like a diamond configuration or whatever it is. And that probably still won't help, but you know, it'll be entertaining. Here we go, Volskaya Industries. It is going to be Guangzhou Charge in the defense, and YXL bringing the attack, trying to set the pace here on our assault map.
Nothing too crazy being run here, though. Chosewan on the Echo for defense. An interesting take here. I will say on the ground side, New York definitely working with a bit of an advantage, especially if Guangzhou can get to a good angle. A lot of pressure, really, I think, for the defense on Chosewan's Echo play.
You know, and a late swap from Bianca going over to the Diva, actually. So New York not liking what they're seeing, making the switch, but a little bit later than you would normally see. They're in there now, though, trying to pave the way for Guangmoon to get in and get some real damage done with the Ashe.
So far, not a lot of real damage being done, just damage to the shields, I suppose. Krong, though, getting isolated, immediately demeched. And Krong is just destroyed. A quick one-man advantage here for New York. Yakpon got low, but was able to get away. And the charge, I mean, the explosiveness isn't really there as far as the players left remaining. Chosewan would have to find a low target, hop on in, but that window's rapidly closing. Oh, it's gone. Flora takes down 2. That's going to be a quick point, Duh.
I mean, you can only stay in a little room that long, you know, for so long against the Tracer before that happens. Did I just say a nano boost onto Mandu as well? I think we're going to see a swap from Kariv. Otherwise, I've got some questions about that one. But
Raid Boss
not
Brigida?
swapping yet. Yeah.
I mean, Raid Boss Brigida, you know, it's not bad, but it's usually better if you have people alive nearby. It's not.
It's okay
not
if
the one
it's
before.
more than just you. Yeah, that's the thing. All right. Well, like I said before, it's been a slightly messier series. It's been a little bit interesting. Chosewan does have the duplicate on the Guangzhou side, so tools to try to stop New York from making this a quick 2 points.
Well, they're hoping for it. Yakpon going in. Yakpon immediately going out. It's like, not quite the pile driver that was promised. Chosewan duplicate out. Double Diva on the field right now.
Yeah.
For the charge.
Well, you got to be really
Rio
careful
gets
for New York.
Yeah, New York's playing the smart. They back out. They punish Rio. Chosewan gonna drop the self-destruct. Everyone decides to hide. Now, Rio's going to be back into the fight in just a moment. But
yeah, I really expected Chosewan to throw that mech over the top of the wall and on that open area outside of Volskaya B. You can get caught sometimes. Oh, that was close.
It stopped the EMP.
Yeah. Wow.
Charge
Friday down.
Still moving forward.
Eileen out of the way, so kills on both sides, but respawn advantage, of course, going to the charge right now on defense.
Yeah, the problem here is that you lose Brigida, and your game plan kind of relies on it. You're not going to go in without the break, barring an enormous numerical advantage. And, Guangzhou so close to getting the Echo.
Oh, you got to be careful. One of the scariest things, I think, in the Overwatch League is seeing how accurate these Echo players are with their right clicks. Like, the way they can lead targets, the way they can land nearly every one of those little explosive gel module things. I don't even know what it is. It's like some exploding goo. It's terrifying to see. Goo. All right. Yeah.
Well, we have minefield on the point.
And a weird Jonak in trouble, yeah.
They dropped the mines on the point, but the fight is taking place back over here. Rio off the nano. Now, there is some point pressure still coming from Yakpon, who's babysitting the mines. And, okay, takes down Krong and Mandu. This is doing a lot more than expected from the beginning, where New York was getting forced back. Now, the charge still have enough to defend. They have a rally in reserve, but they better pop that rally soon, though, because they're running out of players. They're running out of time. New York surgically taking down one by one in a fight that started out bad. now going good. And Maju just gonna drop the rally, move over. Tosimwan taken down. And Flora sitting there, special delivery.
Wow. Flora finds Kariv just as he comes out of spawn. That is insanely frustrating. And New York does it, or they will do it in just a moment as soon as they deal with this with Eileen, and they do. 2:39 on the clock. Respectable time for NYXL here on Volskaya Industries. And remember, ZP, that fight started with Jonak getting picked by a pretty impressive dive and a very lackluster minefield from Yakpung. But they turned it around. That was really impressive from New York to actually get a win out of that.
Yeah, that was a weird fight on multiple angles. So, as you mentioned, you have the dive, go in. Before I get to that, just what happens here, Flora. This is how you take a point, eh? Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, we didn't see that when it happened, but yeah, special delivery from Rio right to Kariv, and oops.
I have to say,
well, you gotta put it somewhere, I guess.
Kriv's had bad luck this series to a degree. Where
yes,
you think
really
about
has.
like you just had the bomb where that's not a Kriv. Kriv got completely sabotaged. But then you go a little bit further back. You remember the wall where his own teammate's ice wall just like kept him trapped. Kariv is fighting the enemy and his own team at times this game. It is.
I mean, like
it's
you
tough.
could poor Kariv. You could really put together a pretty funny lowlights reel for this guy today. And it's like you said, it's really not all his fault in a lot of these cases. You can't help a giant space scientist jumping on you with a bomb attached to them, and you can't stop an ice wall from just randomly freezing you, like or getting you stuck between that and the actual wall. So, hopefully Kariv's luck improves here as Guangzhou Charge goes on the attack. They've got a tall order, though, with a big time bank available for New York. Guangzhou need to take 2 points, and they need to take them fast.
Well, remember, I was calling for the draw, so they definitely need the finish with time remaining.
Yeah.
See if they can do it. I guess technically they could just finish and 2 points from York.
I'm all about your prediction not becoming true.
Come on. We need extra Overwatch. Map 6.
I like more Overwatch. I don't like draws. Like, I want to have a winner,
Yeah. I get there eventually. By the way, speaking of getting there eventually, the Charge taking a long time rotating, New York rotating in turn, just going, we'll keep dancing all day long. Just don't force the issue. Discord Orb, though, out early from Jonak. Rio under pressure. Eileen just barely able to get out. Yakpun pretty low at the same time. And so long as both teams keep rotating here, Doa, it's better for the defense.
It really is. Yeah, I mean, all those rotations costing the Guangzhou Charge time. And they really seem a bit indecisive about how they want to approach this. You could say they're trying to build towards ultimates. I think it's going to have to be a nano boost under Rio to really get this going. And you can see Jonak's already put the Discord Orb on him. They know what the plan is from Guangzhou here, and they know that Rio is key. Yep, there's a nano boost.
Yeah,
New York,
not a lot of.
They're ready.
Not a lot of subtlety there. Kariv, though, eats a pulse bomb, but still might not matter. It's a really nice dive in from Rio, and that's certainly going to be enough for them to take the point. One would think. They've done enough damage. Respawn advantage is there. There's still a few members in New York alive, including Flora, but surely not.
And that's interesting because that was a very telegraphed plan. And I mean, it's a common attack on a lot of maps, right? But if we're talking about it, you know that New York knew that was on the way. And it started out so well. You got the pick onto Kariv in the back lines at the same time, but Rio's a good tank. He picked a great time and place to jump in with that nano boost, and New York just not able to handle it, despite knowing it was coming. That's impressive.
Doe, you mentioned the 10-10. I'm not sure what's happening, but a 4-4, if this EMP is good, potentially very likely Eileen on the setup. The Charge might not get a better opportunity than this, and you got the Jonak.
Oh,
wait, the EMP didn't come out though. He got baited.
No.
That's
Indeed,
the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't blame him. There's only one option you have. Rio.
Did he get him? He did.
Did he get the kill? Oh, well, Huang Bong out.
Huang Bong out. It comes at cost. Tosimwan out of the fight. But if you're the Charge, you commit on this. You go in right now. You still have the EMP on deck. You flood the point. Sure. Eileen. Waiting. Drops it. Hits 2. It's the front line. Bianca going to get demeched as a result. Yakpun, I think, was able to waddle away there. Of course, can't roll in that situation. Drops the mines. Now the charge, all in. Graviton used. Every ult on deck. Pulse bomb though, out and over. In for Flora. No kill as a result. Charge still out there. The point, but Rio hits a mine, taken out. However, 2 down for New York. Charge still applying the pressure. Still looking for progress. About 2 ticks on the point. Pulse bomb out for Joseph on. Back into Echo. Able to float away. And the charge, this is really good pressure, Doa, but they still need a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, New York ate the pulse bomb. They're going to need more than that, though. They're going to need to get some kills up on the kill feed. They're not able to do that right now. Oh, wow. So Dart. Well, gets 1, but this is looking really good for the charge right now. Respawn advantage, obviously, with New York, but that might not matter as there's only a little bit of time left to take.
Yeah, that should be it. Bianca. It kind of looked like Bianca touched, but the game knows best. And it's a charge setting a quicker time, Doa.
Yeah.
2:27 to 2 minutes after the rounding down occurs.
It's impressive. And remember, right now, the Guangzhou Charge are on match point, right? If they win this map, they win this series and take down NYXL. You know, I want to go back to that moment where Jonak used the Transcendence when Eileen was coming out of stealth. And yeah, as a Zenyatta player, you really need to make a decision there, right? Where you know the Sombra's coming out, you know they've got EMP because you've been kind of tracking the ultimates. You know, somebody on the team is going to be tracking the ults, and so you have to say, all right, well, is this going to be a bait? Is this going to be the EMP? Most times it's going to be the EMP. So even though it didn't end up being a fruitful Transcendence for Jonak, I feel like you really can't fault him for that. It's just one of those things where it's going to be a rough choice either way. You know, you're rolling the dice a little bit. That time, Eileen was planning on saving it.
Yeah. And I mean, it comes at a risk too for the Sombra, right? Where you could just go for the EMP and set it up, but once you go for the bait, you have to go set up again. You don't know how long it's going to be until you get another good opportunity. So, you know, high risk, but in this case, high reward. And now, Doa, we go into extra rounds. Is the 3-3 draw still possible? As I was hinting at, it is a possibility.
I guess it is. It is possible. New York on the attack again. They've got a little bit less time in the time bank to work with, so they are going to be assaulting point A first. A bit of scouting from Florida just to see where everybody's set up here.
If you're the attacker here for either team, you want to be fast. You know you don't have a ton of time for point B. You know the possibility of a 3-3 draw is out there. You know, you don't want to be sluggish here. Oh, they're looking for it. Eileen's so close to death. Wait, saved at the very end. Karib.
Wow.
Uh-oh, Karib, though, is getting hunted by Jonak. The Discord orb is up. Karib is down a little bit, but promptly takes cover.
I mean, as long as he doesn't peek Jonak, he's going to be okay. Ooh, that was close, yeah. You can't peek right now if you're on a way too fragile.
Yep. Like Long Boon. 1 minute left for New York. This is a really good start. The Echo is down. There's not really a DPS threat now. I mean, the biggest DPS threat is going to be Nano onto Rio. Nano boost is up. Rio's waiting. They're going to give
used
up
it plenty times
here.
before.
Now they're waiting. Here we go. Rio on the way.
Oh, they were ready that time.
Back.
Nice boop. Yep.
Yep. Rio's in danger. Rio's about done. Is able to get out, but he lives. But the problem is they needed the Nano to do more to actually win this fight. Josewan is back over and in, but you know the game plan now for the Charge, Doa, is just hopefully kill something. Go forward.
Yep.
Frog Spray charged up though. That's a good start.
Well, you got to go at some point. They've almost got
Jonak
the
has
point.
Transcendence and he uses it. Does like
but New York tries to bring the fight into the room instead.
EMP out for the Charge. It's big.
Big EMP for Eileen. Oh my gosh, they actually might hold here.
Floor with 2. Flora's running around like a madman. Flora 3. Flora.
The minefield goes down. Flora gets 3 though. Yep, that's right. Digging deep. Having a profit moment, nearly taking it. Oh, and they get it. Wow, Flora with 4 at the end of that fight. And New York Excelsior barely keeps themselves alive, but 20 seconds, ZP, for them to try to get some progress here on B.
Yeah, it's not much time at all, but this is on a women prayer. You move on in, and guess who's going to be first to the fight? Probably going to be Bob. He'll probably sleep, but you got to throw something on the point, and Bob is pretty reliable, and there he goes.
Bob's in there. Flora fighting the 1v1 though. Ooh, he's a little bit low in health. Okay, going for it. The hack on Friday. All right.
And a pause.
No. Oh my gosh, ZP.
We got it all, Doa.
we have
we
a
talked
pause.
about this beforehand. We're like,
can't.
what? I was gonna say, what if we had pauses, a draw? It's all coming together.
ZP, right now, I'm looking at Choi Se-won's screen, and his Tracer's arm is out there. The pulse bomb is flying through the air. It could not be a more crucial moment for there to be a pause. What in the world is going on? I'm looking at it. We've got rallies going for both teams right now. Bianca has been antied by Kriv, it looks like.
Beep.
That's right. It's pulse bomb.
It's the overtime beeping along with the pulse bomb. And in fact, I know we're on camera right now. Can we get a shift back to the gameplay view here? Just because I think you're right. It's a really good note where you look at the pause where how often do you have the game pause? And it's just the pulse bomb sitting there.
It is.
Pretty good.
I mean, Choi Se-won looking around, looking a little bit confused. It's hard to judge. We haven't heard what's going on quite yet, but he seems to not be aware or not be aware of what the issue is. So it could be from the Seoul side. We'll see. I didn't see who the pause came from, but we're going to make sure everything's working, obviously, before we get back into the game.
If we don't go insane first, because right now we don't know what the issue is, but what we do know is that we still hear our game sound feed. I'm not sure if you at home are hearing the game sound feed, but all we hear is beep, 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 beep. It just goes on and on and on. That's all we hear, Doa.
Hold on, let me look at my. Let me do some research into the issue with my top secret, well, not top secret anymore, but like a high-end computer behind the desk here. Hold on, let me just type on this computer. I have no answers.
Well, there you go. And it's funny, Doug, because prior to this, we were having a conversation about casting stuff and, like, filling time. Things you have to do to fill time when the unexpected happens. And look at this. Here we are. It's been a long time without sleep. The sun is shining. A pulse bomb is beeping. It's Overwatch, everyone.
True. That's right. We're just waiting to see what's up. Some sort of technical issue to deal with. Let's see.
But, you know, if it goes on longer and we don't throw to a break, we can just go to Wisconsin facts or just upper Midwest facts in general. And we know at the very least Hexagrams is watching, and Hex will enjoy that, if no one else.
He
it might not be intended for everyone. He has.
That's right. He's aging, you know. He's getting to that age where you're going to be up at 6:30. He's like, oh, my bones. Oh.
No, you're not kidding. I was talking to him last night. And I went to Hex, and he's just like, yep, I'm going to go to bed soon. I'm like, Hex, it's not 9 p.m. He's like, yeah, I got to get up at 6 a.m., you know. I do a lot of work.
That's
and
right.
I was like, yeah, that's true. And sure enough, at 6 a.m. In our group chat, Hex is up. So early to bed, early to rise.
There you go. Yep, that's right. Maybe he knows. Oh, it's being unpaused. I can see it.
There we go.
All right.
Pulse bomb?
Pulse bomb.
Oh,
Ooh, Pulse bomb did not catch Yakpong.
He had a lot of time to think about it. He had a lot of time to think about what to do there.
No kidding, yeah. He was already mid-jump, too. He didn't even have to think about it. The jump was already being activated. Rio, though, Primal Rage. Everything in chaos right now. Remember, we're in overtime with New York trying to take point B in these extra innings here.
And it's very even. So for Yakpong, they'll get hit with Bionate so low. How is he not dead? Yakpong still living on a whim and a prayer. Karim gets caught. The first of all.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Flora.
Into the back.
Oh, Guangzhou down, though.
Counter fires. Charge still up with 4.
Huge. Even two ticks is just massive right now.
Eileen had to sacrifice his life. Rio right now is just waiting for the mega pack. Meanwhile, the point is nearly gone. Rio, you got to get back in there.
Got to do something. Pulse bomb from Choi Se-won comes in, doesn't get anyone. Yakpong with 2. Here's the EMP from Eileen, but he doesn't have a lot of teammates around to follow up with this, though. Self-destruct, catches nobody, and the kills continue coming in. Oh, my goodness. ZP, New York Excelsior have done it.
They put 4 points on the board, and now the Charge on the hot seat, where, don't forget, if the Excelsior win this map, then we go to an all-deciding map 5. And what has been for us, Doa, by far our longest night of APAC casting yet. A pretty good way to start off the stage, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean, let's check out a couple replays from that last round, because that was pretty insane. Kriv again just getting hunted down by Flora relentlessly here.
This is when Flora went nuts for 3 different eliminations, just rolling around. Yeah, seemingly invincible.
Right. Well, if one thing we've seen today, ZP, is Tracer's back. I mean, as long as there is Overwatch, there will be people making hero plays on Tracer. That's just the kind of character she's designed to be.
Yep, and now 20 seconds left to go until the gates open, and see if the Charge switch anything up. Kariv, of course, still going to be watching his back at all times. And York, what is going on with the UI right now? Why is there a mysterious 7th player that is not loading in?
What? I have no idea. I've never seen anything like that before, ZP. That is brand new for me. I mean, remember, for this, we get our feed all the way from China here, so we're kind of at the mercy of what's going on over there to a certain extent with this part of the broadcast. But it looks like it's not affecting the game, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's just run to the old Valiant marketing a few years back. It's like, we are 7.
Yeah.
they were actually, they weren't kidding. They were beta testing all along.
It's one of the former NYXL players trying to break their way into the game.
Yep.
Lead hacks.
Well, it is still 6v6. Do not be fooled by the UI. And now the Charge. 1:40 left to go as they reposition all around. They're not really going to have the luxury of waiting for an EMP here. I do think they just need to go. And a lot on Chosewan here to open things up here on the Echo, especially as Eileen is more focused on utility.
Yeah. Right now, there's okay, we saw it before. This worked really well for Rio, but this time New York falls back. They're going to try to waste this nano boost as much as they can. They do. All right, they don't give them a lot. Now they rotate in from the side. So New York showing that adaptability, responding much better this time than the first time we saw them.
Yeah, I mean, the Charge have literally done that exact same play so many times that, it's a standard play, but it has become immensely predictable. You know where Rio's going, and New York this time not caught unaware.
Yep.
Long boom.
And now New York
here in the back,
just has
under
to push
pressure.
more time. Less than a minute to go.
Close.
Yeah. And remember, the pressure is on right now for Guangzhou Charge. Not only do they need to take this point, they need to take the second one as well. Killing Jonak is a great first step to do that.
He was so close to Transcendence. It's a massive pickup for Chosewan.
Yeah.
Now, he's still going to have it to defend point B. Flora, though, make it even. Remember, so long as Flora's alive, the fight is not over. And
sleep dart.
Sleep dart. Uh-oh, here comes... Wait, finishes it there immediately, and that might come back to haunt the Charge here. 14 seconds left to go. It is going to be an overtime as they finish point A at this raid. In New York, they have Transcendence. Jonak is back. They're just going to go in here, Doa.
Yeah. Got to do something. Here we go, EMP on the Yogpong, and they did hit Flora. Flora dropped almost immediately. 2 ticks taken right now by Guangzhou, but they need to follow this up if they want to keep it going. We're in OT.
I don't transcend here. I save it. I think Jonak is making the right call. That's actually so smart to not move in and try and transcend. You lose one player early. You know you're going to be better on point B. Really smart by Jonak not to push that button. I think a lot of supports would have. He didn't.
Yeah. I mean, and we talked about this earlier when we saw that moment where Jonak decided to EMP against the Sombra. I think he is very good at weighing all the options and deciding when to use his ultimates. It has been impressive, but he's going to need to use it on this next fight, that's for sure. Overtime beginning for Guangzhou Charge. They need to touch the point. They are going to be able to do that with Rio.
And on to Rio.
Yep,
and
they do.
He's gone.
Ooh.
This time New York was ready. Kariv assassinated from the back. And New York saying there will be no draw. We're going to map 5. Yep.
That's right, map 5 between New York Excelsior and Guangzhou Charge on the way. And that's got to be a relief for New York. Man, that was a close map for them. And just the pause, the drama, everything, the mystery player. What a map. But New York able to kind of keep it together and get the win there. We are going to map 5. Yeah. It's going to be Control once again. And that was a map that Guangzhou won earlier in the series. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be, pretty wild. Yeah.
As I have a morning alarm go off because normally we don't go. I have no idea if that was picked up, but yeah, it's nearly 9 a.m. here in Central Time.
It is indeed. Wow. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, Game 5.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Overwatch League. I am Doa. With me is ZP. It's gone from late night with ZP and Doa to wake up with ZP and Doa. Good morning, everyone. This is the Overwatch Morning Show. We don't have any celebrity guests. We'll work on that. We'll try to find someone who's written a great cookbook, maybe, or you know, a local person from the zoo who will bring along an entertaining animal that is either cute or frightening.
Doa.
Some typical morning show thing, you know.
We do have a guest though coming in. That was the we were setting up for. The guest is going to play with the New York Excelsior as their seventh player. That we haven't figured it out yet, but that's the person going to come in. That's why it all makes sense. Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point. Yep, that's right. Exactly. This is the beginning of our first morning show. Move over, Regis and whoever is with Regis on the show now, or maybe not. Does he still do a morning show? I don't even know.
No,
watch
he's
television.
retired. I think it's Kelly
Oh.
that runs the show now.
Move
I don't know.
over.
I also don't watch morning TV.
Move over Kelly and John Cena. I don't know who else is the person on the morning show. I could see him becoming a morning show
Well,
host.
it was Michael Strand at some point, wasn't it? And then
Oh,
I don't
Michael
think it
Strand.
is
He's
anymore.
cool. Yeah.
I
all
don't
right.
remember. I know way more.
Seacrest, we're getting good suggestions from our producer right now. Yeah, that's right.
No, I think it is actually like Ryan Seacrest. Like,
Oh, is it actually Ryan Seacrest? Okay, never mind. I was like, that's a good suggestion, but apparently the networks agree. There you go.
But
Yeah.
in case you're wondering, we've been at this for a while, but if you're just
We have.
tuning in, it is New York versus Guangzhou. It is a series that has been messy. It's been chaotic. Kariv doesn't know who to trust, friend or enemy. But we are heading
Yeah.
to map 5. It's been a journey, and now we'll get to see Doha. Of the two, who is going to take it?
That's right. It all comes down to this. It is going to be on Oasis, our control map to decide the series. Guangzhou Charge looking to upset NYXL. I say upset just because New York has, frankly looked like the better team throughout the year so far. But Guangzhou, you knew this team was going to come alive at some point. This is a team with too much individual talent to, have the results that they've been having. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but a win against NYXL could signify a turning point for them here in the season, and it's got to happen sometime. ZP, we're already in the Summer Showdown. Guangzhou really needs to get it going.
Yeah, and on the flip side, for New York, a team that wants to have the narrative of, hey, we started out slow, we have some new players, but we're building towards something great. Losing to the Charge here really puts a dent to that narrative because you go from making the June joust to losing to a team that overall has been pretty weak this season in the Charge. So,
I mean,
already for
if you lose today as New York, then suddenly you're tied with the Charge at 3-6 on the year, which is probably not a spot you want to be in.
No, definitely
honestly,
not.
all the things we've said about the Charge, we could say about New York as well. I mean, they're a team, again, with a ton of individual skill on this team. We know that from previous years from watching these players play. But, they just haven't really been able to put it together in consistent results this season yet. And who knows? If you don't do it now, probably not a lot of chances left in the year. But this is it, ZP. This whole day has come down to this. A control map, Oasis.
Ooh. Also,
Give me
we
a
have a
prediction.
sub.
Who do you think is going to win it?
I mean, at this point, I think Charge because I'm not convinced that I've never liked the strategy of we're on a 5th map, put in a player that hasn't played the entire series long. Look, it could be brilliant. It'll be like, wow, what a sub. But historically speaking, this is not a gambit that works.
Yep. I mean, the pressure is on for Feather, right, to try to get something going here. New York needs him to work. Now, the thing is Guangzhou did win the control map way back at the beginning of this series, so maybe New York thinks this is the change they need to swing it. Feather, the better brawler, perhaps. Feather, better brawler.
Certainly, it's better than running the Forest stuff they did, which was just awful. So,
True.
But we'll see how it pans out. Eileen right now on the flank. Flora able to take down Kariv early.
Poor
And
Kariv.
the trend continues. It doesn't matter what Kariv is on Bab, on Moira, who should be able to get away, can't get away. Punished by Flora, and the Kariv hit squad carries on.
Yeah, I mean, Operation Get Kariv has been in full swing for New York all day, win or lose, right?
And for the Charge, to a degree.
And for the Charge, yeah, honestly, they've played a part in it too. Kriv's had a rough day. One of my favorite players, and he's probably not had as much fun in this one as I think he has in other series in the past. Even on the Moira right now, which theoretically gives you a lot of escape potential, but Flora finds him right away. Fight begins. Choi Se-wan can't be kept alive, and it looks like New York might keep this percent going for a little bit longer.
Well, right now, this is the ideal scenario. Just let Flora go wild. Pulse bomb out. A little bit long distance, but still works. Finishes off Mondu, and Flora has been such a problem. And even with 3 kills going the Charge's way, it's no guarantee that you get the point here in City Center. You have to get full clear. But it's Krog with 3. Krog, right place, right time, Doha. And about there are the Charge.
Look at this, though. 49% taken for New York in their first hold. So you're going to give it over to the Charge, but I think New York's going to be pretty satisfied with that being the first chunk of percentage that you get. Now the question is, how efficiently, how quickly can you take it back? You're going to have Jonak's ultimate. You're going to have Yakpung's minefield, and Yakpung's had some of the best minefields I think I've seen out of a Wrecking Ball player in a while. That said, Feather going to lead things in with the EMP. Where's the follow-up though?
Well, the counter EMP for the Charge, much bigger hits for. Jonak has to drop Transcendence at the right time. It's well-timed Transcendence at that, but the problem for New York is that they don't gain any advantage out of that, and the Charge still in control. Bomb out for Prague over the top. What's it going to get?
Ooh.
Forces New York back. Jonak caught by Rio in movement. Rio, meanwhile, it's time for a rumble here in the building. Primal Rage out from Rio. Takes down Friday.
I don't
really
want to have a rumble in the building with Winston.
No. I don't want to have a rumble with Winston, period. I'm going to be real.
No.
I don't think it would end up well for me.
If you're going to rumble with Winston, though, being in a small building is probably the worst place to be.
Yeah, not great. He doesn't even have to jump after you.
Except for an elevator. An elevator is probably an even worse place.
Actually, you know what's the worst place? A submarine. Don't have a rumble.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, submarine. There truly is no escape at that point.
Yeah, or you just
a
die.
space station. That's more thematic.
Well, we've seen that in Horizon. But Flora back into the fray. The Charge still control the point. Pulse Bomb ready to go. Flora hang on to it, looking for Moira. And Kriv goes, please, not again. Oh, the hack comes in. Flora's in danger. Is the fall through going to be there? Flora's hacked. Can't really do much. And still somehow gets away. Beat comes in.
Yeah,
Mondu's
beat used by Mondu.
Yeah, it only
New
hit
York just backs
Kriv.
away and lets it fade, though.
Yeah, it wasn't a great beat, but the Chargers still control the point. New York struggling to get anything done, and you have to look towards Feather. He goes down!
Wow,
Kriv
Feather
finishes
doesn't
off
get the
before
EMP
comes
up.
out. The revenge for Kriv. Cole takes down 2. No EMP, and Flora, no Pulse Bomb yet to be used either.
Finally, at the end of the day, Kriv strikes back a double kill with the Coalescence. Can they close it out here? They did lose Rio. Things
If
looking
they delay
okay,
long
though,
enough,
for
Feather's gonna
Charge
be back.
overall. Yep, Flora down.
Oh, this is going to be the sad EMP, where you don't have a lot of people around for the fall through. They get Kriv, though, but I still don't think that's going to be enough.
Well, they lose a lot more, though, so still looking okay for the moment. But that said, more New York players streaming into the point right now. Krong just saving that self-destruct for when he really needs it. Eileen would love to EMP Jonak and finish him off. He's going to get the EMP. Is he going to get the kill? He is. Eileen, hero play, but Yakpung comes back with 2.
They got 2 mid-EMP. That is unreal. Mondu somehow hit one of the mines that wasn't struck in the middle of it. New York somehow still in this fight. The EMP fall-through was there. They flip it. That is unreal, Doa.
I mean, this round is just encapsulating the entirety of this series right now, ZP. It has been so back and forth. It has been so hard fought for both teams. It has been messy. It has been crazy. It has been extremely entertaining, and it doesn't look like this last round is going to be any different as New York just tries to hold on to get up to 99% themselves. Another
Both
Coalescence
tracers
from
are
Kriv
locked
coming
and
in.
loaded. This is where you can really make a difference as a DPS player. Chosewan going round and round, looking for a target, waiting, gets a stick, takes down Jonak out of the fight. And on to Bianca. I think Bianca got knocked to the Jonak. Yeah, I think Bianca got knocked to the Jonak. I have to go back and look, but it's a good look for the Charge. Flora, though, takes down Mondu. And can New York do it again?
Or will it?
Can they flip it back?
Yakpung down, and he was nearly at his ultimate too. That's kind of devastating. Here's the EMP. It only hits Krong, though. Feather needs a little bit more from this.
Has
Flora
been good
looking
EMPs
for
from
picks on the
Feather here
side.
so far. Have to say.
That's right.
Flora hacked. Can they deal with Flora? No, how is Flora getting away while hacked? This shouldn't be happening. You don't have abilities at that point. And somehow
this is given
he's supported.
New York. They're back in.
Friday and Flora working on it. Chosewan and Mondu down. Not finishing up Flora, turning out to be the bane of the Charge. The Pulse Bomb out, connects, takes down Krog. And New York, they have done it again in the same round.
By Krong, what a round. I can't believe it. This is only round 1. We're going to 99-99. New York, can they close it out?
Rio gets caught. There's still a touch.
Yep, that's right. Someone's got to get back there. They do, just barely. Krong low health on the Diva.
Out.
He's going to lose the mech already.
Again.
Yep, that's right. He does get demeched. Mondu down.
Has Pulse Bomb. Surely there's no comeback. He gets a Pulse Bomb stick, but that won't be enough. Overtime ticking down. Eileen has to sacrifice. Immediately dispatched. How long can the Charge stagger?
I mean,
Rio
very
has
long.
the Primal Rage. Now
Remember
buy some
Hollywood?
time. Yeah.
That's right. Rio buying lots of time for his team to come back again. Flora finally finishes him off. Another Pulse Bomb comes in. Mandu manages to avoid it, but Friday gets the kill on Kariv. And so now as Mandu falls, it might be enough. No, Krong back in again, but that is it. And that was just round 1, ZP. New York gets the point, but I still have no idea who's going to take this series. But elation on the side of New York. You saw a big high five from Flora with somebody else. I'm going to guess it's Yakpunk because I didn't see anyone else. And
It should be a support.
we can't see Yakpunk's picture.
Floor,
You'd think.
Floor was a dead man walking multiple times in lost fights, gets hacked, and somehow gets away. Where I need to remind you, Tracer without Blink and Recall, not that hard of a hero to kill. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was some pure magician level escapes coming out from Flora, obviously aided by his team, but unreal. New York, 1 map away now, Doa, from taking the series. Or 1 round, rather.
Right. I mean,
1 map, 2. Accurate.
that's true. True for both. Guangzhou Charge, though, with a comp that's served them well throughout the day. But I like the new dive look a little bit. The double bubble from New York has certainly been a bit more effective. That said, though, that last round was so close. No conclusions can be drawn right now as far as who's got the edge coming into this one.
Well, I do like that Flora's back on the single shot hit scan. It's something he's been deadly on all season long. The question is, can Feather deliver on the Tracer? Those are some big shoes to fill. Good damage being put out by Flora. Not enough to finish off Mandu, though. And, oh, they get
very
out the
close.
first hit. That's rough. New York
I mean,
lets
that's
the
the
Charge
thing.
get first control.
It could have gone either way. Flora was so close to getting a double kill and then got picked himself in the end. So now New York is going to have to back up and regroup a little bit.
Flora right now trying to build around the outskirts. And I will say, for just holding your position, the Charge are running a composition that's a little bit tankier. You're running the Reinhardt.
Yeah,
If Eileen is
100%.
protected, it really limits how much Feather can do. But now we go. Yakpunk gets the nano boost, looking for the Rhine, and Immortality Field is up, and decent job mitigating it. But here comes the Primal, and oh, it's just adding on to damage. He's frozen into the back. Josephwan ends the Primal Rage. 5v5, and Kriv got picked early again, Doa.
Yeah, that's right. Got hit this time by the biotic grenade. Eileen, though, Deadeye. Not going to be able to find the Tracer. It looks like he's really waiting this one out. Trying to be very
Nice
safe
time,
with it. Nice sleep dart, though.
Sleep
New
comes
York
in,
trying their best
Mandu.
to take this back. But the thing is, New York, yeah, it looks like they might get it here, but it's already like 57% for Guangzhou Charge. Great first hold for them.
Yeah, and unlike City Center, this is something where it's a lot easier for a team to come back in. There's no endless stall. Having a 57% edge is pretty big
True.
right now for the Charge. And on top of it all, they have a window where Krong could have an amazing self-destruct. I'm not sure he's going to lead with it, but it is an opportunity. Graviton, though,
Always a
not to be
possibility
on deck.
to be aware of, for sure.
You gotta look towards Bianca. Right now, if you're New York, you're going, please set up a good grab. Krong sitting here in the back going, I'd love to eat that. Rio force back a little bit. Here comes Krong.
Yep.
He's going for the hero bomb. Eileen takes out Flora. One's already down. And it gets Bianca. There's no Graviton because Bianca is dead.
Wow, Eileen manages to find the finishing blow onto Yakpung as well. The quick reset comes in from Friday, and Jonak going back to rejoin their team as fast as possible because they know that they are getting to one fight territory right now.
A little bit of McCree boosting there, just in case. Right place, right time. Doesn't quite happen.
Give him a chance to maybe
Feather.
EMP down between the wall and the doorway, and then you drop
Make
the
her
ball and do
break.
it. Oh, there's a stick.
It's
No
on
kills.
Krong, though. Meanwhile, Rio drops a shatter. I'm not sure it hit anyone. Meanwhile, Graviton in. The Immortality Field out. Rio, super low, finally goes down.
Oh, no.
That's the only casualty here so far. Eileen drops a Deadeye, forces the Winston back. The Charge still relatively healthy. They get Bianca. Kariv, this time not first to fall.
Yep.
Punishes Bianca. And now Krong holding the point, chasing down the Brig. Overtime in progress. New York must stay on the point all the while. We're going to the ultimate round here in Overwatch. Bomb in onto the point. Beat is dropped, though, by Charge. It's going to let him ignore the bomb for a while. Rio finds Flora. And Doa, can you smell round 3? We're just about there.
I think it's inevitable, ZP. I think where New York had a chance to flip it back on City Center. This one's looking a little bit different. This one's looking like Guangzhou should be able to close it out, and we are indeed going to the final round of the final map. This match is going as far as any match really can.
It is the ultimate round in all of Overwatch. There cannot be a tie. There must be a winner. And it comes at the very end of a series that is as close as could be. Well, for the most part, so long as you don't count draws. But, we're throwing that technicality aside. A map 5, no draw situation is the ultimate setup. And all comes down to this here on the University.
One last round to decide who takes the win between two teams that desperately need it. You can see the intensity on the players' faces right now as really, like we talked about, Summer Showdown, man. This is it. If you don't start to get something good going, if you don't start to turn your losing record around overall, you're not really going to be able to think about playoffs. And for New York especially, that would be a strange situation. But Guangzhou Charge, of course, they know that they can make it. They know that they can be a playoff-capable team. They just got to prove it right now.
First.
And a kill on Jonak, that helps.
Yeah, that was a reversal of fortunes. McCriv buying the dust early, but this time it's Jonak that tastes the bullets coming in for Eileen. In on the flank, looking for Friday. Friday dancing away. Eileen now back over, looking for the May. Feather out of the fight. And the Charge take the all-important first fight here on the University stage.
Yeah, we saw this in the first map as well, ZP, when we were on Lijiang Tower, that the Charge at the end of the day just seemed better at taking these kind of brawling fights. They looked great in the first map. They're looking good here too, despite the fact that we're going to the third round. And you have to wonder sometimes with New York, can they turn on the gas, and they really need to win rounds like this.
Well, Flora super low. Eileen catches him.
That hurts.
Flora, who's usually the ray of hope for New York, take down early in the fight. Yakpung looking awfully low, just barely able to back out. And New York, they can't go in here without Flora. They have to wait for the respawn, but time is not on their side. 38% right now. And Eileen gets caught. What? Bianca somehow caught him in the underground. This forces out the Blizzard. The Charge trying to maintain stability. And Karim takes down Jonak. The revenge comes in.
All right, in the past, this was where New York started turning it around, and you can see a couple of kills coming in, but not enough for New York to flip it. And now it's a real dangerous situation for the Excelsior. They are going to give so much percentage to Guangzhou Charge, and I mean, I sense desperation from New York right now. When you see Flora walk in and die like that, that is a bad sign.
That is a feeling of someone that's like, after
Feather.
it doesn't end. Feather out early. Feather having to adapt to be subbed into a map 5 after not playing all series long, just gets caught, and New York is down to their final fight, Doa.
Eileen finds Flora with the dead eye. Meanwhile, Graviton Flux from Krong continues to push New York back. Yakpunk Jonak fall as well, and we may not even see New York get a single percentage point on this final round. Guangzhou Charge really look like they're ready to close this out. One more fight is all they need.
Who's even going to touch here for New York? 97, 98. Is this how it ends, Noah? They do force overtime. And now, is there one last miracle left for the New York Excelsior? They're looking for it. Eileen right now doesn't go around the chase. You just want to clean up the point. They take down Feather. Manju, though, down. The bomb for Bianca's huge.
Though.
And
Double
takes
kill
down
with
2.
Double kill Viva, triple kill for Bianca. No way. I saw Feather die early in that fight. I thought there was no chance, but Bianca saves the day, gives New York a new lease on life here. If they win this map, Bianca won them this series.
Yep, New York gets a chance to fix their composition, swap back. Yakpung back to the Reinhardt. This would be unreal if New York brought this back, Doa. It's not likely, but there is a glimmer. Eileen wanting to shut the door. Deadeye up, looking. One skull up, gets the D-back. Bianca,
and they get the take. They flipped the point. New York wasn't able to contest it. That Deadeye was so smart. Now they're winning the fight. Oh my goodness. Eileen, with the support of his team, just walking onto the point with the Cowboy, and that'll do it. Guangzhou Charge, after all that, take this series. GG.
You know, it felt like something magical was about to happen there, Doth. New York coming back in, the miracle take by Bianca, and it just ends with a whimper, not a bang. The Charge mercilessly come back in, finish off the series, and what a disappointment to fans of the Excelsior that are hoping that this would be the time that they really turn things around and build upon the June joust. Instead, they start with a crushing loss.
It really is. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are projecting Guangzhou Charge to win this series. I know I certainly wasn't. Props to whoever had that on your pick'ems. You believed and you were rewarded. But now, like we were saying, that moves both teams to 3-6 overall on the year. For Guangzhou, a ray of hope. For New York, the door is starting to shut on those playoff hopes already. They really got to get something going now.
Yeah, I mean, this is brutal. Obviously, this is just, the beginning of the Summer Showdown. New York, not only can bounce back for the overall season, they could bounce back within the Summer Showdown itself, still make it to the overall tournament. But
it's possible,
hurts.
Sure.
It really does hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, we're effectively halfway through the year right now, right? So when we start to talk about the overall season, I think it's at this point you really need to start thinking about those overall playoffs, and you need to look at some of the records that these teams have. And for a team like NYXL to be 3-6 on the year, it's kind of shocking, frankly. And like you said, there's time to turn it around, but there's not much. Meanwhile, Guangzhou Charge, a lot of the same stuff could be said for them. But they're the ones who, after this match, could start to be on that little bit of an upward trajectory. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, I think from the Charge side, you're going, this was a crucial win. This was vital because you talk about the records like, the record isn't great right now, but it'd be a whole lot worse if they lost today. Now the question is, can you build on this? Can you get momentum and find an identity? And we'll just have to see.
Yeah. Well, right now, let's focus on our top player, our player of the match. It is going to be Eileen from Guangzhou Charge. And I agree with this one for sure. Eileen played great throughout the day. There's the Symmetra, of course. That played a great Symmetra in Lijiang Tower. Props to him. But it was really as the series went on that I think he kind of came into his own. McCree was great. What stood out to you, ZP, with Eileen today?
I mean, I think for Eileen, it was the consistency, right? Where the Charge, this was a game where between both teams, there was a lot of inconsistency. A lot of weird things were happening, but Eileen, more often than not, was on the right side of things, always getting a good value. And I think, the highlight for me for Eileen more than anything else, look back to Junkertown where the Charge were in a rough spot. They had to defend against New York, didn't have to go far. Eileen finds the right angle at the right time and just takes the fight into his own hands, gives the Charge that key map, and that's a map that would inevitably lead to the Charge taking the entire series.
Yeah, really showing a great understanding of his role on multiple different heroes in this series specifically. When you look at the Ashe, then you swap to the Sombra, you're playing the Symmetra a little bit. That's a lot of different things to think about as far as positioning. You're going to be approaching each point very, very differently, and your attitude is kind of going to be different as far as how you find picks, how you support your team. So just a really showing his skills as an all-around damage-dealing player. Very impressive stuff today from Eileen.
Yeah, and again, I think looking forward, the Charge have to look at this and go, look, it is a bit of a sloppy game, but do better from here on out and see exactly where it all goes.
Yep. That's right. And so now it's time for one last crunch time presented by Cheez-It Grooves at the end of the day. And, we had a little bit of fun with this one, ZP. I could say we had fun. But unfortunately, Kriv on the Guangzhou Charge did not have a ton of it himself. Trapped between the wall and the ice wall there, between a rock and a cold place, I guess. But it didn't end. And Kriv was just picked on mercilessly all day long by NYXL. And so on top of that, his team didn't do him any favors either from time to time.
Oh, it was a crunching on all angles. Kriv, I mean, they say watch your back, but what happens when you have to watch your back from your own team where you get stuck in walls, you get blown up by pulse bombs delivered to you by your own teammates? Oh, man, I mean, Kriv was not enjoying himself today, except for the very end, where he got some revenge on him.
I mean, he's a winner in the end. He's a champion, but look at this. Just hunted down by NYXL, trolled by his own team. This is one of the best cases of just mental fortitude, just sticking with it, right? Kriv, battling through moments like this, through a 5-game series to help his team win it in the end. You know what? Sometimes you got games like that. Sometimes we just get beat up in our ranked games and we still win at the end and we're like, all right, I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad I didn't Alt F4 that one.
Yeah, definitely after a day like this. So this is where you take the headset off and go, I'm taking some time to myself. Enjoy
right.
good rest before going to sleep and do it all over again. Probably not a day Kriv would want to repeat anytime soon, but on the plus side, they did walk away with the W.
Yep, true enough. Crunch Time has a happy ending. He went through the forge and was reforged. I went to the fire and was reforged. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
It's like 7 a.m. We've been up since yesterday, basically. So, But that's it. What an amazing day of Overwatch it's been, actually, ZP. This has been a ton of fun. I know we're tired. I know everyone at home is either waking up and seeing some of this, or if you've stuck with us all night, you are the true champions as well. You guys are winners in my heart and ZP's heart. I'm going to speak for his heart right now and tell you that because we've seen some great games today, haven't we?
Yeah, like I said, it's been fun. It's always cool to see the first day of a new stage, see what the teams have in store. Obviously, things will evolve. It gets a little bit messy, but it's also some of the most fun you can have in Overwatch. Both the good and the bad, and all in all, excited to see where the rest of the Summer Showdown goes.
It's going to be crazy. We're going to be back at it pretty soon here with the first match for the East Region tonight. Until then, get a couple hours of sleep, maybe have a snack, get ready for more Overwatch League at 12 Pacific, I believe, is when North America, when the West Region starts again. So you don't even have that long to wait until you get to see more Overwatch League action. Until then, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. So much flavor, it's a mind crunch.
Shot.